You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
The history, the tradition, the fun of Kernels baseball.
It's time for exciting live coverage of Kernels baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
A fall-like night in June as the Kernels end the first half of the season in the first of an 8-game homestand. We welcome you to the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show here on the Kernel Radio Network. Bank of the West will be shooting fireworks off after tonight's game. They're our highlight sponsor, and the Kernels broke a 6-game losing skid last night behind All-Star Nick Adenhart, who won his 8th of the season in an 8-6 Kernel victory at John O'Donnell Stadium. We're 27-35 with 8 games to go, and who knows, if we get hot and reel off 8 straight, we'll finish the first half at the 500 mark. We have 2 very special out-of-town visitors as our guests on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Ryan Fleck and Anna Bowden are here in our great state of Iowa. They are independent filmmakers. They're researching a project, and this will be a fascinating look into an aspect of minor league baseball from their perspective. And Ryan, we'll start with you, and you're here in our ballpark to do some research.
Yeah, Anna and I have been over the last 10 days traveling the Midwest to various ballparks and checking out the games, talking to players, and then finding out what it's like to be a ball player. And, yeah, minor league ball player, yeah.
Well, did you know much about the minor league lifestyle or the level of play or the tradition in Iowa before you came, Ryan?
No, not at all. I mean, I grew up in California, and I'm a big baseball fan, and so for our next film project, we thought it would be exciting to do something baseball-related, and but no, I had no idea the extent how hard these guys are working out here, how early they get to the ballpark every day, and the travel and the wear and tear that goes into this experience is really intense, and I have a lot more respect for them.
Well, great, and we hope that might come out in some of your writing and producing. Anna Bowden, you're teaming up with Ryan on this project, and what have you learned so far in our state in addition to learning about how hard an arduous life it is? It's still one that anybody would trade places for to be a professional baseball player, but what so far have you jotted down in your notes or have you filmed that you think would be of interest in an independent project like this?
Well, we also have talked to a lot of players besides just American players who are coming here from Latin American countries, a ton of Venezuelan players and Dominican players from the Dominican Republic, and it's even more arduous for them. They're coming here learning a new language, an entirely new culture, and we think it would be really interesting to explore that in some way, too.
Oh, I credit you for that, Anna, because baseball is catching up a bit to the NBA and the National Hockey League. We are becoming a world or international sport. The World Baseball Classic was held for the first time this past spring, and we do have a very big contingent of Latin-speaking ball players. We have Australians. We've had kids from over in Italy and places like that. You're right about the language. It's not easy. Of the Latin-speaking players or bred players you and Ryan have talked to, what percentage of them would you say get along pretty well with their English?
I think it varies. It depends on how long they've been here. They are trying really hard to learn, and I think that a lot of them pick it up pretty quick, but it takes a few years, and they can't spend a lot of time in school studying because they're out here every day for 8-10 hours working on their baseball.
Anna Bowden and Ryan Fleck are our guests on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, and they're researching for an independent film project that they're working on. And Ryan and Anna, it's never easy to do this, quote, for a living. Is this something that you do as a passionate hobby, or do you have some grants that you've written and that you're being funded, or does it all pay off in the end when you have the film produced, watched, and then possibly score big at the box office? I don't know anything about your industry.
I'm still learning as we go, too, so I wish I was an expert, but the film we've made before, we've made documentaries. We've also made a fiction film that's going to be coming out this summer in some of the cities around the country. But Those were financed independently, privately, with private money, and hopefully this one we will have a slightly bigger company funding it when it's ready to go.
Well, that sounds great. You guys, Anna, are truly artists. You're a lot like the players you're covering in that you are at a young age kind of living a dream.
Absolutely. We feel really lucky to be able to be doing what we're doing, in our 20s, and it's been something that we've wanted to do since we were little, and a lot of these ball players out here have been trying to play baseball since they were little kids, too.
Now, will you guys bring cameras into the clubhouse and into the stadiums, or is this initial research being done through an interview and note-taking process?
Yeah, right now there's no cameras involved. We are recording audio, much like yourself, but we haven't introduced any cameras yet. We're just writing the script, just doing note-taking research.
Most people in our community have at least heard of the Sundance Film Festival. It's held out in Idaho, and it is, I believe, started 30 or 40 years ago by Robert Redford. At least that's what people on the street think. Have you guys ever been to the Sundance Film Festival out in Idaho?
Yeah, we were just at Sundance this past January with our new film Half Nelson, which is going to be coming out in September in some major cities throughout the country. And we've been there a couple times before with short films, but this past year was our first time there with a feature-length film.
So you guys had a film selected to be shown at the most prestigious venue in the United States for independent filmmakers.
Yeah, when you put it like that, it sounds pretty exciting. It was exciting. Yeah, it was a great time out there, and we got to see Robert Redford and a bunch of movie stars, and have people see and enjoy our film, which, like Anna said, will be opening, I think, in Chicago is probably the closest city to here in September 8th.
And it's called Half Nelson, and I think I heard you say earlier, Ryan and Anna, that it's a fictional. What is the basic storyline or plot without giving the movie away?
It's about an inner-city school teacher who teaches in Brooklyn, and kind of a friendship that he forms with one of his students.
Oh, that sounds fascinating. We're going to keep our conversation going in just a minute with Ryan Fleck and Anna Bowden. They're here in eastern Iowa doing research for a pending independent film, and this is a fascinating look into their young lives and what they're pursuing. And we'll wrap things up with Ryan and Anna next here on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show.
For your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications. Tuna Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
Ryan Fleck and Anna Bowden are with us. I'll let them know. Let them tell you what they'll be doing during their stay tonight and tomorrow here in Cedar Rapids. Ryan, I pulled you and Anna aside and said, how about joining me to tell our listeners about your project? What will you be doing later this afternoon, this evening, and tomorrow here in our ballpark in your research?
Well, today we're just going to we have been looking at the ballpark, getting a visual sense for what the different ballparks look like in the area, and we're also talking to players. We're going to talk to pitching coach today and Mr. Madrigal, I believe.
Yes, Warner Madrigal.
Yeah, we'll be speaking with him, we hope, and some of the host families, some of the families that house players, and during this season, those who may not be able to afford apartments or have the time to find an apartment. That's interesting to us.
Anna, if this project comes to fruition, will it be more like the highly acclaimed black and white film 10 years ago, Hoop Dreams, or will it be more like Kevin Costner's famous movie depicting the minor leagues Bull Durham?
I love both of those movies. I think it will be someplace in between. It's not going to be a documentary, but it will have a lot of documentary-like things, and we want it to feel really real and authentic, but there will be a fictional element to it, and we hope that it definitely gets a sense of the minor leagues.
And Ryan, where have you been prior to here?
We started in Kane County, and then we...
It's a different world there, brother.
Yeah, much closer to Chicago, but everybody loves baseball, so that's the one thing that's sort of unified the different ballparks. And then we worked our way over to Burlington and had a good time there with the Bees. And last night we were in Clinton and saw an extra inning game that had an exciting finish. And tonight we will finish up here in Cedar Rapids.
Well, Anna, it's not always football-like weather in June here. I'm glad you guys brought your heavy coats because this is uncharacteristic of eastern Iowa.
Yeah, I might have to buy a Kernels sweatshirt or something at the store.
Well, that'd be our pleasure to have you wear that around the country. Finally, you guys, where did you go to school? Because I know the craft, the trade, the science, the art you're learning is very, very... It's like no other field, filmmaking. Where did you get your basic training?
I went to school, I did my undergraduate at Columbia University in New York City.
Are there still remnants of Lou Gehrig there?
I don't know. Are there?
Sure, Lou Gehrig, he haunts all of New York, I think, to this day.
I just watched Pride of the Yankees on the bus a few days ago, and there he was in his Columbia jersey, and his mom wanted him to remain a college man, but he became a Hall of Famer. Ryan, how about you?
I went to, I finished up at New York University, but I did go to a small junior college in California, where I'm from first.
Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful stay here in our city of 5 seasons. Thank you so much, Ryan and Anna. I want to present each of you with a $5 gift certificate. Now, I know that won't go too far in Gotham where a cup of coffee is $5, but Zio Giano's Italian Spaghetti Houses, it'll be practically a full meal for each of you. There's one just a fly ball away from here on the southwest side. Pasta that will make you sing. Ryan Fleck and Anna Bowden, continued success. And if the film comes to fruition and has a title and is at the network or on TV or at the movie theaters, please let us know because we'll go watch it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us and for the pizza.
Yeah, thanks.
Anna and Ryan, thank you. Up next, we'll have the starting lineup. Series opener, Kernels and Fort Wayne Wizards. It's next here on the Kernel Radio Network.
For your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Tuna Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
The Cost Cutters Dream Team has taken the field on this November-like evening. No, it's really not that bad. 58 degrees. It just feels like April again here in June, and Bank of the West has stepped to the plate to provide us with a wonderful evening of entertainment. Their fireworks will highlight tonight's series opener between the Kernels and the San Diego Padre minor leaguers, the Fort Wayne Wizards. Welcome into the zone at the Kernel Radio Network. I'm John Rogers, and we're set to bring you the starting lineups between the Kernels and Randy Reddy, former Philly and Padre third baseman. He brings his Fort Wayne Wizards into town for their only visit of the season. Leading off in center field for the Wizards is Javis Diaz. Javis Diaz in center, playing in just his third game for the Wizards. Batting second at third base is Seth Johnston. Mike Baxter will be in right field and hit third for the visitors. The cleanup man is Kyle Blanks. He's the designated hitter, and he leads the Wizards with a 29 RBIs. Well, check that. He's second on their team with 29 RBIs. Batting fifth, he's fourth in the league in hitting with a .324 average. Will Venable. Will Venable is the son of former Giant Max Venable, and Max Venable, is on the coaching staff with the Wizards. He's their hitting coach, so obviously he's done a fine job bringing along his son, Will Venable, who will be in left field and bat fifth. Darrell Jones is at first base, batting sixth for the visiting Wizards. Hitting seventh, Nick Hundley, the catcher. Abraham Aguilar is the shortstop. Aguilar will bat eighth and play short, and batting ninth, Rainer Contreras at second base. The pitcher for the Wizards is a 6'2 right-hander, a 25th round pick of San Diego last year out of the University of Texas Arlington, Grant Varnell. Varnell, Grant Varnell, making his 12th start of the year. One complete game, a 4.15 ERA. Varnell pitched well his last time out. That was in Peoria as the Wizards swept the Chiefs. Grant Varnell took 3 of 4 from Peoria, rather. Grant Varnell was a 6-2 winner Monday in Peoria. He went 5 innings and allowed 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 3, and walked none. The league hitting .306 against 23-year-old right-hander Grant Varnell for the Wizards. Allen Motor Company, as always, sponsors the Kernels starting lineup. Listen to this headline: plush, lush, and affordably priced. That's the 2005 Buick LeSabre Custom, now as low as $13,890. That's $13,000, $13,890. Only $199 a month is the plush, lush, and affordably priced 2005 Buick LeSabre Custom at Allen Motor Company. That includes your first year's maintenance free at Allen's. Allen's is open late until 9 o'clock on Monday and Thursday nights, open till 6 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings, and open until 5 o'clock on Saturday nights. The Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup: Brad Kuhn leads it off in center. Brad leads the league with 22 stolen bases. Dallas Morris will bat second. He's at third base for the Kernels. Hitting third, switch-hitting all-star Kernel shortstop Heinle Stacia. Mark Trumbo is at first base. Mark had a big series against the Swing in Davenport. He's lifted his average to .222. Trumbo will bat fourth and play first base in the Allen Motor Company lineup. Batting fifth, he slugged his first home run of the year last night in the Kernel 8-6 win in Davenport. Brett Martinez will catch and hit fifth. Flint Lipke's the designated hitter, batting sixth. Hitting seventh in left field, he had a double and a triple in last night's Kernel win at John O'Donnell Stadium. Stantrell Smith. Larry Infante will be at second base and hit eighth. And batting ninth, Tyler Johnson. Tyler got his first run driven in as a Kernel last night in the win in Quad Cities, and Tyler will be in right field. Rounding out the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, 22-year-old right-hander on the hill, Stephen Merrick. Stephen is a brilliant 6-1 this year with a ERA of 2.54. That's 8th lowest in the Midwest League. Stephen Merrick, 6-1, making his 13th start of the year. A no decision in his last start. That was here at home Monday against Burlington in a Kernel 6-5 loss to the Bees. Merrick went 4 innings, gave up 3 runs on 7 hits, struck out 4, and walked 1. That's the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup. The umpires are sponsored by Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Anderson & Brown Eye Care is your full-service eye care center. Their new location is on Boyson Road in Hiawatha. Easy in, easy out at Anderson & Brown Eye Care, where you can have your eyes examined and then pick out your glasses and or contact lenses right on site. Anderson & Brown Eye Care has evening and Saturday hours for your convenience, and the exam rooms and building are wheelchair accessible. Things are coming into focus at Anderson & Brown Eye Care. They sponsor our umpires. We're going to enjoy a group from one of our communities this evening, Springville, and Dale Broad, our public address announcer, will be introducing the youngsters from Springville, Iowa, who will sing the Star-Spangled Banner on this chilly 58-degree Saturday evening.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. It is being performed this evening by the Springville Select Choir.
The Springville Select Choir in their black and orange attire singing the Star-Spangled Banner. 58 degrees here this evening, and the Kernels open an 8-game homestand with the first of 4 against the San Diego Padre minor leaguers, the Fort Wayne Wizards. The members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team dash off the diamond, and both umpires are wearing navy blue pullovers to go along with their gray trousers on this chilly Saturday night. The last thing we expected was to have a game-time temperature of 58 degrees. Fortunately, the wind isn't too bad. A light breeze is blowing in from right center field, and the Kernels are taking on a Fort Wayne team that is 28-31. The Wizards beat West Michigan last night, and Fort Wayne is in 4th place in the 6-team Eastern Division first-half standings. Actually, they're tied for 4th place with Southwest Michigan. The Wizards are 28-31. At home this season, they're 14-17. They're 14-14 away from home, and they're in their gray road uniforms with blue sleeves, blue socks, blue numbers trimmed in white, and their hats are navy blue with silver bills. Stephen Merrick, 6-1, Midwest League All-Star, has pitched 74 1/3 innings this year and allowed only 62 hits. Stephen has struck out 61 in 74 1/3, walked just 15, and his ERA is the 8th lowest in the Midwest League at 2.54. Fort Wayne as a team is 6th in the league in hitting, 6th of 14 teams. Their batting average is .254. They've slugged 34 home runs. That ties them for 5th in the 14-team Midwest League, and the Wizards are 11th in the 14-team circuit in stolen bases with 49, but they've only been caught 16 times. The Bear from Bank of the West is down below, being led by Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill. Luvita will be joining us a little bit later to bring us up to speed on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. The Kernels defensively have Dallas Morris at third to start this 4-game series. Up the middle, it's Heinley Stacia, Midwest League All-Star at shortstop. Larry Infante getting his first start in the last several days is at second, and Mark Trumbo over at first. Stantrell Smith is in left, Brad Kuhn in center, and the Colonel right fielder is Tyler Johnson, a battery of Stephen Merrick and Brett Martinez. Well, we're ready for baseball, and we're very happy that you've made us part of your Saturday evening entertainment plans. The first batter for the Wizards is Javis Diaz, and ball 1 is low to Javis, Javis, Javis Diaz. He's a little fella, a left-handed batter who leans right out over the plate, and Stephen Merrick delivers a strike in to Javis Diaz. Batting .200 in 2 games. No homers, no RBIs, 1 stolen base. Diaz takes just low, ball 2. Javis looks like kind of an old grandmotherly figure at the plate because he bends from not his knees but his waist, and he leans right out over the plate, holds his bat like he's a Punch and Judy hitter, and takes strike 2 called from Stephen Merrick. Good crowd on hand here this evening, considering the cool weather. Diaz, the leadoff batter, punches it into right center, and that's a leadoff single. Javis Diaz lined one to the right of Colonel second baseman Larry Infante, and the Wizards have their leadoff man aboard on a base hit into right center. Brad Kuhn and Tyler Johnson converge to get it back in, and not what the Colonels were expecting from Javis Diaz on a 2-2 pitch. He ripped her into right center for a leadoff single. That brings in Seth Johnston. He's out of the University of Texas, a 23-year-old fifth-round pick by San Diego last year. Seth is a right-handed batter, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Johnston, Johnston, right-handed batter with a .262 average, 4 home runs, and he's tops on the Fort Wayne squad with 32 runs driven in, and he has 17 doubles to his credit. Diaz is not running. Javis Diaz, and ball one is inside to Seth Johnston. Stephen Merrick, wearing a long-sleeve red shirt underneath his Colonel white home uniform, leans in and gets his sign from catcher Brett Martinez. Here's a shot into center. Brad Kuhn right there to make the catch. Oh, brother, did Seth Johnston ever get good wood on it. Hit it right on the button. You could probably pick up the sound of the bat cracking the pitch from Stephen Merrick, and I mean Seth Johnston hit a bullet into straightaway center, and Brad Kuhn had to take 2 steps in to catch it. 1 on, 1 out for Mike Baxter. Mike Baxter wears his navy blue socks up high. He's from Vanderbilt. 21 years old, a 4th-round pick last year by the Padres. Mike Baxter played in 45 games with the Wizards a year ago. Stephen Merrick delivers a strike on the outside corner, a fastball. Baxter hitting .217 this year, 1 homer, 16 RBIs. Last year, Mike hit .219 in 45 games with 1 homer and 17 RBIs. This year, he has 1 homer and 16 RBIs. A throw to first, and Javis Diaz is back safely. Crowd continues to come in here on this cool 58 degrees Saturday night. Bank of the West fireworks and Springville night. A throw to first, and Javis dives back in hand first. Most of the fans dressed appropriately for tonight's unseasonably cool, almost brisk temperatures. I see a lot of heavy jackets and blankets and throws and hoods and hats, some rain gear just in case, but I think we'll be fine as far as that goes. Mike Baxter waits for the 0-1. Diaz not running, a pitch out, ball 1 to Mike Baxter. Mike is 6 feet tall, 190, and he's from the Empire State of New York. Baxter steps out and takes a look down at his manager coaching at third. Randy Reddy. Randy's in his 2nd year at the helm with Fort Wayne. Had a good big league career with the Phillies, the Padres, the Brewers, Athletics, and Expos. Randy played 777 games at the big league level. The runner goes, a pitch out. Brett Martinez's throw right on the money, in time to get the feet first sliding. Javis Diaz. Oh, Brett Martinez on the pitch out to the left-handed batter heaved a perfect peg down to Hindley Station. The caught stealing goes 2-6. And that's a big second out here in the top of the 1st inning for the Kernels and Stephen Merrick. The Kernels pitched out for a 2nd straight time. Now here's a line shot over the head of Stephen Merrick into center, and Brad Kuhn will get it back in. Mike Baxter with the 3rd hard-hit ball in this inning by the Wizards.
Number 32, designated hitter, Kyle Blanks.
1 on, 2 out for Kyle Blanks, the designated hitter. Blanks is a big fella out of New Mexico. 42nd round pick by San Diego in 2004. Kyle Blanks. Fastball is in for a strike. Kyle, I say, is big. He's 6'6", 270. The bat looks like a toothpick in his hands. 6'6", 270, Kyle Blanks. Look out, he's hit by a pitch, and that prolongs this tough first inning for Stephen Merrick. Merrick strikes his fourth batter of the season. Stephen Merrick hits Kyle Blanks, and Mike Baxter trots down to second into scoring position for a very dangerous hitter, Will Venable. Well, Stephen Merrick struggling here in the early going. Hundley Stacia comes in to have a word with the Colonel All-Star right-hander, who's 6-1 this year. Max Venable, the hitting coach of this Wizard club, and his son Will Venable is fourth in the league in hitting. There's a letter-high fastball in for the strike to the left-handed batter, Will Venable. He was taken last year by the Padres in the 7th round. And Venable, 23 years old, an Ivy League-educated man from Princeton, Will Venable. Boy, Princeton has some very good baseball players. We had Scott Heineman, a lefty, on our team 2 or 3 seasons back. And Venable's from Princeton. There's a big breaking pitch in for strike 2 to Will. With the .324 average, 1 home run, 28 RBIs. The Wizards have 2 on with 2 out here in the top of the first inning. They've had 2 hits, a man hit by a pitch, and a man caught trying to steal second. Stephen Merrick comes set just below the letters. The 0-2 is upstairs. The fastball clocked at 92 miles an hour, according to the Bank Iowa Speed Pitch Indicator. The lower portion of the big 5-story scoreboard in right center field here at the ballpark. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Will Venable down swinging to end the threat by the Wizards in the first inning. No runs for Fort Wayne. 2 hits, a hit batter, a man caught trying to steal second. No Colonel errors. Fort Wayne leaves a pair. And after 1/2 inning, it's the Wizards nothing, and the Colonels coming to bat here on Bank of the West Fireworks Night, along with Springville. After 1/2 inning, Fort Wayne nothing, Colonels coming to bat. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. Well, it's nice how he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg's does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Yes.
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family's blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
Brad Kuhn will lead off for the Colonels against right-hander Grant Varnell. And Varnell's first pitch is a fastball in at the knees to the Colonel leadoff man, Brad Kuhn, strike 1. Brad walked twice, had a bunt single, scored 2 runs in the Colonel win last night. And strike 2 on the outside corner from the stockily built right-hander, 23-year-old Grant Varnell. Brad hitting .252, no home runs, 16 runs driven in. And a fastball just missed inside, ball 1 to Brad. Great to see the Kernels in their white home uniforms. They'll be in them for the next week plus, an 8-game homestand. A ground ball slapped past third, backhanded by Seth Johnston. He throws just in time for the out. Boy, a broken bat roller down the line at third, and behind the bag, Seth Johnston backhanded it and then threw out Kuhn by just a whisker. Well, we have a chance to grab Luvita Hill. Here's a ground ball hit sharply to short, kicked by Abraham Aguilar. The throw to first, not in time. Dallas Morris benefits on an error committed at short by Abraham Aguilar, and that is E6, the 9th error committed this year by Aguilar. Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill, you work so diligently every day you come in here. I wanted you to tell our listeners about the finals from earlier this afternoon, Luvita, on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, brought to you by State Farm Insurance agents Gary Schubat, Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, and Brad Dunn. And Luvita will weave those scores in, as she always does, after Hindley Stacia takes ball one outside.
In the American League, at U.S. Cellular Field in 11 innings, the White Sox edged past the Indians 4-3. At Yankee Stadium, the A's just barely beat the Yankees 5-2. At Kauffman Stadium, the Devil Rays whipped the Royals 9-5.
Here's a base hit down the line and left. Over to get it is Will Venable, stopping at second. Dallas Morris. Hindley Stacia, who took the collar last night in the Colonel 8-6 win. Hindley was 0-for-5. Went the other way, batting left-handed, and slapped it down the left field line for a one-out single, sending Dallas Morris to second. 2 on. 1 out for Mark Trumbo. Mark has been hot. He had 6 hits in 17 at-bats in our series in Davenport, and he's raised his average to 222. Luvita, you started with the American League. Are we still in the American League on the State Farm Major League Scoreboard this afternoon?
Yes, we are. For our last game completed in the American League, at Rogers Center, the Blue Jays bowed to the Tigers 5-3.
And we'll get to the National League after Mark Trumbo takes a pitch low for ball 1.
In the National League at RFK Stadium, the Phillies whipped the Nationals 6-2. At Minute Maid Park, the Braves beat the Astros 4-2. And for the last game completed in the National League this afternoon at AT&T Park, the Pirates shut out the Giants 2-0.
Well, Luvita, thank you. We have a lot of listeners that the first thing they like to hear, besides the starting lineups and the action, is what happened this afternoon, and you took care of that in great style as usual. Mark Trumbo has taken a couple of pitches low from the right-hander, who misses inside, Grant Varnell. Will Mark Trumbo be turned loose on this 3-0 count? No, a strike on the inside corner. Here's the 3-1 to Trumbo. A rocket fair past third down the left field line. Kuhn is racing around third. Morris is racing around third. He'll score on a double. Socked hard down the left field line by Mark Trumbo, who's swinging a hot bat. Dallas Morris scores from second. Hindley Stacia went from first to third on Mark Trumbo's line drive. About 3 feet off the ground, it was a bullet past third down the left field line, and the Kernels lead it here in the top of the first inning, or bottom of the first inning, 1-0. 1-0 Kernels. Now 2 on, 1 out for Brett Martinez. The Bank of the West Bear is here, and he is some visible symbol. I want to get him out among the crowd here in a moment. And Luvita Hill, let's just go ahead and find Josh Boots and let Josh know that we want the Bear to be out with Mr. Shucks as much as possible. And Bear, have a great time around the ballpark tonight representing Bank of the West. Luvita Hill's mom is here. Now, Is she waving up here? Okay, there she is. All right. Well, Levita, you bring up your mom and aunt whenever you'd like. 1-1 count to Brett Martinez, who slaps it up the middle. That's a base hit. One run is in station to make it 2-0. Here comes Trumbo, crossing the plate without a play. 3-0 Kernels on a big 2-run single by Brett Martinez here in the bottom of the first inning. Brett Martinez grounded it sharply right through the box past the diving shortstop, Abraham Aguilar. And not only did Stacia score from third, but Mark Trumbo came rumbling around third. He crosses the plate standing up on a big 2-run single, grounded through the middle into center by Brett Martinez. And it's 3-0 Kernels here in this bottom of the first inning. Now the batter, Flint Whipke. And Flint takes strike one on the outside corner. 3-0 Kernels here in the top of the first inning. In the bottom of the first inning, we're at home again, John. Here's a line shot into right field. That's a base hit by Flint Whipke. Stopping at second is Brett Martinez. And that's 4 straight hits following the shortstop's error with 1 out here in the Kernel 3-run first inning. Flint Whipke adds to his .261 average as he drills a pitch into right. And out comes the Fort Wayne pitching coach, Tom Bradley. He served as a pitching coach in the Blue Jay organization last year in this league with the Lansing Lugnuts. Tom Bradley was the head coach at Jacksonville University, NCAA Division I team. Then he coached at Maryland in 1991. Tom Bradley, I remember him as a Giant and a White Sox pitcher. And he came out to talk it over with Stantrell Smith. No, he came out to talk it over with Grant Varnell, the pitcher. Boy, I'll tell you what, you get to the point of the season, here's a pitch in the dirt, and both runners will advance, and the Wizards look very, very rattled and unprepared so far here in the first inning. And that's not a criticism. They had a very, very long motor coach drive from Grand Rapids, Michigan last night. Stantrell Smith, with 1 out and 2 in scoring position, chops it over the hill. A run will score to make it 4-0 Kernels. Throw in the dirt by the second baseman. Contreras gets by the first baseman. Speeding home, sliding in safely is Flint Whipke, and it's 5-0 Kernels. 5-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning. Martinez scored from third on the tap over the hill by Stantrell Smith. The second baseman came in, gloved the tap, but then threw low past Darrell Jones at first. And not only did Martinez score from third, but Flint Whipke raced all the way home from second. He scored sliding in ahead of the peg by Darrell Jones, the first baseman. And it's 5-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning, and the Wizards, I don't think yet, know what hit them. The second error of the inning by Fort Wayne. Stantrell Smith reaches on a throwing error by Rainer Contreras. Stantrell draws a throw, and he's back safely. RBI double by Trumbo here in the first. 2-run single by Martinez. And then Stantrell Smith reached on an error. Stantrell's running, and Larry Infante tags one foul down the left field line. Strike one. $5-0 Kernels, and we're in the bottom of the first inning. Larry Infante hitting .155, 1 home run, 9 RBIs. Still only 1 out as Grant Varnell's changeup is outside. This whole inning with 1 out really turned when Dallas Morris hit a routine ground ball to the shortstop, Abraham Aguilar, and Aguilar fumbled it, couldn't find the handle for an error. Larry Infante is jammed, and he lifts one foul over towards the hot corner grill, third base side. Larry Infante batting .155. Last played in the series opener Tuesday night in Davenport. Here's a high pop foul. That one up above the red club seats, third base side. It's still 1-2 to Larry Infante. Kernels broke a 6-game losing streak last night with an 8-6 win behind Nick Adenhart, and have jumped on Fort Wayne for 5 runs here in the bottom of the first inning. Infante, left-handed batter, lays off a changeup outside from the right-hander, Grant Varnell. Grant has allowed 5 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors, and a wild pitch here in the bottom of the first inning. The runner goes, and a line drive off the third baseman Smith, headed down the left field line. Stantrell Smith is held at third. Larry Infante dives in headfirst with a double. And it's second and third. Still only 1 out here in the Colonel first inning. Larry Infante drilled one off the third baseman Smith, down the left field line, leaping high with Seth Johnston to get a glove on it at the hot corner, but he couldn't catch it. It then caromed down the left field line where Will Venable retrieved it, and Tyler Johnson is now the 9th Colonel to bat here in the 5-run first inning. And ball 1 low to Tyler. Tyler Johnston, 1 for 3 last night. His RBI grounder to first broke a 1-1 tie in the second inning. Infield in for the Wizards. Ball 2 outside to the Colonel right-handed batter, Tyler Johnson, hitting 100 even in 8 games. The Colonels lead it 5-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Second and third, 1 out, and a swing and a miss by Tyler, strike 1. Stantrell Smith at third. Larry Infante at second. Infield in for Fort Wayne. The 2-1 to the Colonel number 9 hitter is a strike on the outside corner, and it's 2-2. This crowd is bundled up for the occasion, and they're having a great time. With 2 on and 1 out, Johnson takes a pitch in the dirt. Ball 3 from Grant Varnell. Varnell's making his 12th start of the year, and he was a 6-2 winner in Peoria last Monday. In 5 innings, he gave the Chiefs just 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 3, walked none. He's run the count full to the Colonel right-handed hitting number 9 batter. Tyler Johnson squirts the 3-2 pitch foul off his lower leg, and it rolls towards the on-deck hitter, Brad Kuhn, who could bat twice in this first inning. Stantrell Smith at third, Larry Infante at second as Grant Varnell, the right-hander, comes set. The next payoff pitch missed inside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded here in the Colonel first inning. 5-0 Colonels, bases loaded for Brad Kuhn, who started this inning by breaking his bat and rolling out down the third base line. Brad could make it a big, big lead for the Colonels. It's already 5-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Strike 1 on the outside corner from Kuhn, or to Kuhn from Varnell. 5-0 Colonels, first inning, bases loaded, 1 out. Kuhn, a left-handed hitter, takes strike 2 on the inside corner. Eric Owens coaching at third for the second straight night for the Kernels. And EO, as the ball players call him, their trusted hitting coach. Looks like he's having a blast out there. Really looks into the game. Coon slices one foul past the runner at third, Stantrell Smith. Stantrell had to do the limbo to get out of the way of that one. I mean, he had to turn his back in a convex C shape as that hard hit smash almost picked him off. Still 0-2 to Brad Kuhn. The 0-2 outside, a fastball. After Morris reached on an error, Stacia slapped a single to left, and then Mark Trumbo hit a bullet past third, driving in the first of 5 Kernel runs. Kuhn, a line shot into left. That's a base hit. Stantrell Smith scores. Stopping at third, Larry Infante. It's 6-0 Kernels. Brad Kuhn whistled one to the left of the third baseman, and then it hit the lip of the dirt and the outfield grass. High hop to Will Venable and left, so Eric Owens couldn't bring home Larry Infante, but Stantrell Smith glides home to make it 6-0 Kernels here in the bottom of the first inning. Brad Kuhn with his 17th RBI of the year. And it's 6-0 Kernels. The bases are still loaded with only one out. And this is the biggest offensive output by the Kernels in some time. Here's a double play ball slapped to second. Second baseman boots it. Everybody's safe. Another run scores to make it 8-0 or 7-0 Kernels. Taylor made double play ball to Rainer Contreras. Rainer came up prematurely from his bend over position, and he dropped the ball, fumbled it. The 7th run of the inning scores. Larry Infante dashes home from third to make it 7-0. Dallas Morris reaches on an error, the third committed in the inning by Fort Wayne. And what a nightmarish inning for the Wizards. It's 7-0 Kernels. No RBI for Dallas Morris. Well, perhaps he will be credited with one. We can't be sure that would have been a double play. But the Wizards look totally disoriented. Strike one to Stacia, now a pitch low. Kernels lead it here in the first inning, 7-0. Fort Wayne has made 3 errors, and the Kernels have 6 hits. Still only 1 out. A ground ball foul, pulled foul, past first by Heinley Stacia. A 7-run inning for the Kernels to start this 8-game homestand. Tyler Johnson, who walked earlier in this inning, leads away from third. Here's a ground ball up the middle. The shortstop, Aguiar, has it, throws to second out, throw to first in the dirt, but dug out by Darrell Jones. And Heinley Stacia ends the Kernel first inning by wrapping into a 6-4-3 double play. The Kernels send 12 men to the plate in the second inning. And in the first inning, in the first inning, the Kernels score 7 runs on 6 hits. 3 Wizard errors, and the Kernels leave 2 men aboard. Stephen Merrick has a large lead with which to work tonight. After 1 inning, the Kernels lead Fort Wayne 7-0. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little win from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
We have a big lead. The Kernels do, that is, of 7-0 as we go to the top of the second inning, and an unfortunate injury on the double play turned by the Wizards to end the Kernels' 7-run first inning. Rainer Contreras, the second baseman in the middle of the 6'4" twin killing, has been helped off the field. Looks like his left ankle, and Rainer Contreras will be unable to continue in this game. I'm almost positive he's their number 9 hitter, their second baseman, so we'll see who the Wizards send out to play second base or to hit here in the second inning. Darrell Jones, a .277 hitter who leads Fort Wayne with 10 home runs and 37 RBIs, takes low, ball 1 from Stephen Merrick. 7-0 Kernels here in the top of the second inning. The Wizards committed 3 errors. Here's a pitch that jams the batter, and on a check swing, the pitch from Merrick is rolled foul up the first base line, fielded by Mark Trumbo. Strike 1 to the batter, Darrell Jones. 7 runs on 6 hits, 3 Wizard errors in the Kernel 7-run first inning. A changeup is down and away to the right-handed hitter, Darrell Jones. Darrell's from Los Angeles, just 19 years old, and a big swing and a miss for strike 2. I mean, Darrell Jones, 4th-round pick of the Padres in 2004, took the air out of the stadium with that swing. Darrell's in his 3rd year of pro ball. He hit 188 in 73 games with Eugene in the Northwest League last year. 4 homers, 16 RBIs, and Darrell Jones has run the count full as he takes a changeup in the dirt. 4-3 from Stephen Merrick. Stephen pawing at the rubber, trying to kick some mud or dirt out of his spikes. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Darrell Jones challenged by Stephen Merrick with a chin-high fastball, and he swung and missed for strike 3. The lights are on here at the ballpark. It's a very, very low cloud overcast day. We didn't see the sun one bit today. Everyone in eastern Iowa awoke to thunderstorms and lightning and a heavy downpour. It stopped raining about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Ball 1 is low and in to Nick Hundley. Hundley, the number 7 hitter, is the catcher. .248 batter, 1 home run, 23 RBIs. 7-0 Kernels here in the top of the second inning. And a fastball is over but low from the Kernels' 6-game winner, Stephen Merrick. Stephen Merrick and Nick Adenhart combined are 14-3 for the Kernels. That's how good that tandem has been. Swing and a miss on a high heater. Strike 1 to Nick Hundley. Nick is out of the University of Arizona by way of El Paso, Texas. That's where he lives. 2nd-round pick by the Padres last year, Nick Hundley. 22-year-old right-handed batter. He's not a big guy, and he didn't mean to, but he went around on a Stephen Merrick 91-mile-an-hour fastball, strike 2. Hundley is 6'1", 210. Nick Hundley. Batting with the bases empty, 1 gone here in the top of the second inning. Stevens' pitch is fouled on top of the grandstand roof behind home plate. 2-2 to Nick Hundley. Kernels, wearing their navy blue caps with red bills, are ahead here in the second inning, 7-0 over the Wizards. Hundley with the straightaway stance looks at a strike 3 called, a beautiful changeup from Stephen Merrick, who has now struck out 3 straight Wizard hitters. Stephen Merrick on the year has fanned 61 in 74 1/3 innings. Merrick, Mendoza, Adenhart, and Mosbach all rank in the top 5 in the league in innings pitched. Here's Abraham Aguilar taking outside, ball 1. We've been told that Jesus Lopez will play second base for the Wizards the remainder of the night, and the Colonel equipment manager, Ron Klein, going down the umpire's tunnel, I think perhaps to call an ambulance. I think the Wizards are going to have to send their injured second baseman, Contreras, to the hospital for x-rays. 2-0 to Aguilar. And now a fastball high to Abraham, ball 3. And the reason Al Gruwell knows that Jesus Lopez will take over at second is Lopez is standing on deck. And a 3-0 pitch is ball 4. Abraham Aguilar, a 195 hitter, has issued a 2-out walk here in the top of the second inning. Jesus Lopez will come on and play second base in the bottom of the second inning. He's pinch hitting for the injured Rainer Contreras here in the top of the second. Jesus Lopez is batting 182. Jesus has 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and he's pinch hitting for Randy Reddy's ball club here in the top of the second inning. A strike is called to the right-handed pinch hitter. Jesus Lopez pinch hitting for Rainier Contreras. Contreras was injured on a double play turned by the Wizards that ended the Colonel's 7-run first inning. There's strike 2 call to the pinch hitter, Jesus Lopez. That's right, the Colonel's 7-run first inning. The 0-2 to the right-handed batter. Foul down the right field line. Jesus Lopez is from Mexico, and he's only 5'11", 165, and he's just 18 years old. He looks tiny out there down there in the batter's box. The 0-2 slapped foul. That one into the Papa John's Plaza down the right field line. I want to apologize for all the errors I've made already. I don't know if it was getting back at 1 o'clock in the morning from our 4-game commute to Davenport, or whether it was getting back in gear for this 8-game homestand, but I've really stumbled a lot with my description of this game in the early going, and I don't mean to. A curveball was choked off by Stephen Merrick, and it almost hit Jesus Lopez. He spins out of the way for ball 1. 1 on, 2 out in the Wizards' second inning, and it's 7-0 Kernels. Outfield plays Lopez straight away and shallow. Jesus hits a one-hopper to the right side. It has all sorts of spin on it. That doesn't affect Larry Infante, the Colonel's second baseman. Whisks to his left and picks it up with all that English on it and tosses to first to retire the pinch hitter, Jesus Lopez. It goes 4-3. In the second inning for Fort Wayne, no runs, no hits, a walk. There were no Colonel errors, and the Wizards leave 1. They've stranded 3. We go to the home half of the second inning on Bank of the West fireworks night here at the ballpark, and it's the Colonel 7, Fort Wayne nothing. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Every day we use products that come to us in plastics. Milk jugs, water bottles, laundry detergent, ice cream. These are just a few of the hundreds, thousands of products that benefit from plastics. But once you're done using them, what do you do with them? Recycle. It takes no more energy to put that plastic in your blue recycling box rather than the trash. But what it does save is landfill space and natural resources. Reduce, reuse, recycle. It's just that easy. This message brought to you by Solid Waste and Recycling Services.
Each week during the month of June, Pex will feature a perennial plant available to you at a special price. That's because June is Perennial Gardening Month at Pex Flower Shop and Garden Center. Be sure to look for this week's featured perennial as you stroll through Pex many acres of plants and flowers. Visit the plant people at Pex. They are the experts. They're knowledgeable, and they give you all the free advice and suggestions you need to start your perennial garden or to add to your existing perennial garden. Pex is celebrating 50 years of growing with our area, and they're located at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road Northeast. Pex Flower Shop, Garden Center, Nursery, and Landscaping. They invite you to stop in. It's Perennial Gardening Month this month of June at Pex. They're open until 8 o'clock on weeknights, till 5 o'clock Saturdays and Sundays. Mark Trumbo fouls the first pitch off to the right, strike one. Mark put the Kernels ahead with an RBI double past third in our 7-run first inning. Grant Varnell's next delivery is a changeup low and outside for a ball. The 1-1 to Trumbo. Low for ball two. Mark's double was his 9th of the season. A fastball is in on the outside corner from the wizard right-hander, Grant Varnell. The league hitting .306 against Varnell. Here's a bouncer to first, backhanded by Darrell Jones, and he underhands to the pitcher Varnell covering for the first out of the inning. Mark Trumbo tomahawked a one-hopper to the right of the first baseman, and going to his right to backhand it, and then tossed to the pitcher covering was Darrell Jones. Well, Abraham Aguilar has gone from short to second, replacing Rainer Contreras, and Jesus Lopez takes over at shortstop here in the second inning. Lopez had to come on to pinch hit for the injured second baseman, Rainer Contreras, in the top of this second inning. So Aguilar is at second, and the new player, Jesus Lopez, is at shortstop here in the second inning. Dallas Morris, check that, Brett Martinez grounded a 2-run single into center and scored in the Colonel 7-run first inning, and Brett boops one to the second baseman, and Abraham Aguilar takes 2 steps back and makes the catch. 2 gone here in the Colonel's second inning. It's 7-0 Colonels, and Flint Whipke's at the plate. Flint lashed a base hit into right his first time up and scored in that 7-run Colonel first. Flint Whipke, a right-handed batter. Boy, does it sound good to say 7-0 Colonels. A ground ball, cranked to third. Seth Johnston has it and throws across the diamond to get Flint Whipke, and a 1-2-3 inning for Grant Varnell in the bottom of the second inning. The Colonels go in order, and as we go to the top of the third, here on Springville, Bank of the West fireworks night, Colonels lead it 7-0 over Fort Wayne. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball here on the Colonel Radio Network.
Diet Pepsi is taking you to the movies. All kinds of movies, like horror films.
Hey, there's a guy with a hockey mask outside. Let's go see what he wants. Okay.
Sci-fi films.
Gentlemen, we're in luck. Those aliens speak American.
Kung Fu movies.
Your English voiceover. Look. Terrible. It's my nunchucks.
Teen flicks.
I am so ugly. Well, you'd be hot if you ditched your glasses and your nerdy side ponytail. Oh my gosh, I am hot.
Foreign films.
Les French fries, the French toast.
Les baguettes, les bougelets.
Les croissants.
Crime films.
So, did you find anything?
Only this computer disc labeled totally incriminating evidence.
I'll keep looking.
Introducing the Diet Pepsi box office promotion. Find a code in specially marked Diet Pepsi packages. Collect and enter codes at DietPepsiBoxOffice.com to redeem for a movie ticket, even to action movies.
Well, the bad guy's dead. I'll just turn my back. I can't believe you fell for that.
Light, crisp, refreshing Diet Pepsi.
Subject to official rules, void where prohibited. 63006. Multiple purchases required. See website for redemption details.
Imagine the convenience of accomplishing your next real estate transaction under one roof. Buying a home, selling a home, or securing the right mortgage loan are simple and worry-free at Todd Financial Services. Todd Financial Services knows that you've worked hard to be able to make the dream of home ownership a reality. Todd Financial Services understands that people do business with people they trust. You can count on Todd Financial Services to put you and your needs first so that your real estate transactions are pleasurable.
Stephen Merrick, Colonel Midwest League All-Star, ready to go in the top of the third inning. 7-0 in favor of the Kernels. Tomorrow, we have a special treat for you. Rockin' Ray and Sky Dogs USA will perform all afternoon long here at the ballpark. You can bring your dog. It's Bark in the Park tomorrow. Bring your dog and bring him or her down on the diamond for a pregame parade. Kernels will be signing autographs from 1:20 until 1:40. And after the game, thanks to Velocity Sports Performance, you can run the bases. Tomorrow is a family fun Sunday. Popcorn's only $1. Here's a pitch whistled hard to second. Larry Infante has to back up into shallow right, and then he throws to first to retire Javis Diaz. Diaz singled to center in the first inning, and he got good wood on that first pitch from the Colonel's 6-game winner, Stephen Merrick, but hit it hard on the ground on 2 hops to Larry Infante, and Larry threw out the batter from shallow right, 1 away, here in the Fort Wayne third inning. 7-0 Kernels. Strike 1 in to Seth Johnston. Seth is a right-handed batter. There's a strike on the inside corner. It's 1-1. Johnston turns his back on the home plate umpire. Both umpires are wearing navy blue pullover long-sleeve jackets on this 58-degree, unseasonably cool June 10th. A curve, and that one is bounced foul towards Randy Reddy, the former big leaguer, coaching at third base. The Colonel record, 27-35. We're in 6th place in the 8-team Western Division standings, 11.5 back of Kane County. The Cougars are 15 games over 500. The Colonels are 8 games below. Stephen Merrick with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's upstairs, and it's ball 1 to Seth Johnston. Seth is a lean, trim, right-handed batter, hitting .262 with 4 home runs, 32 RBIs. And he swings late and misses, strike 3. 2 gone here in the Wizard third inning. The top 2 in Fort Wayne's order have been retired by Stephen Merrick, who looked a little bit shaky in the opening frame. There were 3 hard-hit balls, 2 for hits, but Stephen benefited from a pitch-out in that inning that got the leadoff batter, Javis Diaz, trying to steal second base. That was a big play in that Fort Wayne first inning. Looping the first pitch foul for Merrick off to the left is Mike Baxter. Mike singled in the first inning. Baxter batting with the bases empty and 2 out here in the Fort Wayne third inning. 7-0 in favor of the Kernels. A light breeze continues to blow in from the right center field area as Stephen Merrick pumps in strike 2 called on the outside edge. Stephen is a very round-shouldered, or rather broad-shouldered, right-hander. Here's a line drive pasted into right field between Infante and Trumbo, and on an 0-2 pitch, Mike Baxter went down to get that one. A changeup, and Baxter drilled it into right. He's 2 for 2 is Mike Baxter. Baxter 2 for 2, and now Kyle Blanks, who's a very imposing, intimidating figure at the plate with his 6'6", 270-pound body. Kyle Blanks. The right-handed batter is jammed, and he whistles the first pitch foul over the backstop, strike 1. I'm going to take a crack at pronouncing the name of Kyle's junior college, Yavapai Junior College in Arizona, Yavapai. Kyle swings late and tips it foul off the chest protector of Brett Martinez, and it's 0-2 to Kyle Blanks. Monday night here is a Dollar Dog Monday. Hot dogs are only $1 on Monday evening. It'll be Game 3 of this 4-game series against the Wizards. Good crowd on hand here tonight, especially when you consider the bad weather we had all day. Ball one is upstairs to Kyle Blanks. Colonel outfield plays this big cleanup batter, right-handed batter straight away. Blanks is hitting .306. He lays off a changeup in the dirt for ball 2, blocked by Brett Martinez, and that prevented Mike Baxter from trying to go to second. Mike Baxter leads away from first. With 2 out, the 2-2. And that one is tapped foul into the backstop. On the Miller mezzanine, Paul Richards is with us. Paul hosts Colonel third baseman Dallas Morris. He's part of our host family, and Paul Richards has been a member of the host family program the last 2 years, and Paul has a big contingent up on the Miller mezzanine terrace tonight. We'll tell you more about his gathering in a moment. Kyle Blanks is late on a 3-2 pitch from Stephen Merrick, or a 2-2 pitch rather, in fans, and that strikeout for Merrick is his fifth of the evening. No runs in the third for Fort Wayne, no runs, 1 hit. There were no Colonel errors, and the Wizards leave 1. They've stranded 4 in 3 at-bats. Colonels come up for the bottom of the third inning before this good-sized crowd on Saturday night. Bank of the West fireworks and Springville nights here at the ballpark. It's the Colonels 7 and the Wizards nothing. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Don't you wonder sometimes how all those companies who claim to be the best can actually be the best? Doesn't just one of them have to be the best? When it comes to motor coach travel, Tri-State Travel is the best. We have the highest safety rating, the largest variety of coaches, a trained driving staff, and 66 years of experience. Don't you want to travel with the best? That would be Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
Hi, this is John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. I'd like to share a few words with you about Colonel Team Physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Terse. My father was a surgeon, and like most sons, I looked up to him as the greatest dad and the best doctor on earth. When I was diagnosed with a torn meniscus in my right knee recently, I wondered if my doctor here in Cedar Rapids would measure up to my dad's standards. My doctor was Dr. David Terse. Dr. Terse's thorough and expert explanation of my x-ray, his calm and reassuring description of the procedure he would be performing, and his kind and confident bedside manner impressed me beyond my expectations. Dr. Terse has those exceptional qualities we all hope to find in our doctor: an established reputation of excellence, the ability to communicate with us so that we understand and trust his words, and that gut feeling that he truly cares about us. Dr. Terse is a world-class surgeon and a first-class person. I've experienced firsthand why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Colonel's parent ball club, has entrusted Dr. Terse to care for our players.
Stantrell Smith leading off the Colonel third, bunts foul outside third. It looked like Stantrell might have himself a leadoff bunt single, but it rolled foul up the third baseline. Strike 1. Again, we want to welcome Paul Richards, a host family member. He and his sister, Adelie Eifert Richards, are visiting, celebrating Adelie Eifert Richards' 70th birthday. Adelie is from Dallas, Texas, with family and friends on the Miller Mezzanine Terrace tonight. Ground ball, nubbed past the mound. The second baseman has it, and Aguilar throws out Stantrell Smith. 1 away here in the Fort Wayne third inning, 7-0 Colonels. Stantrell Smith stroked it off the trademark and rolls out to second. Adelie Eifert Richards grew up here in Cedar Rapids. She graduated from Roosevelt High School in 1956, and then she graduated from St. Luke's School of Nursing. And Adelie has 3 sisters, Elsie, Fern, and Teresa. And Paul Richards, here's a drive down the left field line, but it's caught by Max Venable. Hard hit by Larry Infante. Larry doubled and scored in the Colonel 7-run first. He lines to left, and there are 2 gone quickly here in the Colonel third, and that is now 6 in a row retired by right-hander Grant Varnell. Adley Eifert Richards' son, Michael, played for the Colorado Rocky organization, so that means Paul Richards has a nephew who played in the Colorado Rockies organization. Tyler Johnson takes a pitch low for ball 1. From Grant Varnell. Now a fastball at 89 miles an hour, according to the Bank Iowa speed pitch indicator, is a strike on the outside corner. 1-1 to Tyler Johnson. Varnell working quickly. And a strike at the knees. Tyler steps out. Tyler Johnson wears his Colonel Red Sox up high. Tyler has some snazzy-looking Nike baseball spikes, red and black. Tyler wears a pair of black batting gloves. The 1-2 to Johnson. Corked into right. That's a base hit for Tyler Johnson. Tyler rounds first, holds on as Mike Baxter gets it back in. Tyler Johnson reaches for the second time in a row tonight. He walked in the Colonel 7-run first, and he goes the other way and flashes a base hit into right with 2 away here in the Colonel third inning. The Colonel sent 12 men to the plate and scored 7 runs on 6 hits and 3 wizard errors in the bottom of the first inning. Brad Kuhn lined a single into left, driving home a run in that 7-run inning. Brad bounces one to shallow second. Charging is Jesus Aguilar, and he throws out Brad Kuhn from near second base. Brad, first pitch swinging, topped it and bounces out to shallow second. No runs in the third for the Colonels. 1 hit. There were no wizard errors. The Colonels leave 1, and it's our 4th stranded of the night. And after 3, here at the ballpark, Colonel 7, Wizards nothing. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball here on the Colonel Radio Network.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road, behind Guppy's on the Go. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has a full line of trees and shrubs like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. And for a limited time, buy any potted tree and Cedar Rapids Greenhouses will deliver and plant it free. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality and low prices, see the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
A lot of fun down below as Kirby from Solid Waste and Recycling Services coordinated, orchestrated the recycling shuttle relay. We go to the top of the 4th inning here on Bank of the West Fireworks Night, and Mark Laufer, I'll tell you what, whether it's 58 degrees or not, we want you back every game this year because we haven't sent 12 men to the plate in an inning and scored 7 runs in a game yet this year. What a great start, and I know most of your folks arrived here early, so they got to see the Colonel fireworks.
It's we're having a great time out here tonight, John. 7 runs in the first inning.
That's amazing.
You know what, if we're bringing that kind of luck, we'd like to come back every night.
Well, we'll have you back real soon. Thanks to Bank of the West, you're sponsoring 2 great fireworks shows this season. The first tonight, Strike 2 called from Stephen Merrick to Will Venable. Will struck out with 2 on and 2 out back in the first inning. Venable, Jones, and Hundley, the numbers 5, 6, and 7 men in the Randy Reddy Fort Wayne Wizard order. Mark Laufer is with us from Bank of the West, and they're sponsoring our fireworks. And Mark, I know it's not only a great awareness and public relations and feel-good type of sponsorship for Bank of the West, but it's unusual, a ground ball foul past third. This is a great year to do it because Bank of the West is establishing their new symbol, their new brand here in our market.
We are. Bank of the West has been around about 200 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, our corporate image of the bear. We've got Bo Bear here with us tonight.
That's his nickname?
Yes, Bo.
Bo Bear, B-O or B-E-A-U?
B-O-W.
I didn't get it right on any.
That's all right. Yeah, Bo, B-O-W. He's out working the crowd tonight. We're having a lot of fun with the bear. Everybody likes the bear.
Everybody does. Everybody likes to hug a bear, and I bet the kids and adults are glad that he's down below. And he's not only a bear. Here's a high drive, stroked into right at Tyler Johnson. Colonel right fielder steps back a few paces and gathers it in. Will Venable hit it on the nose, but skies to right, one away. Not only is he a bear, Mark Laufer, but he's a golden bear from California, I would guess.
Well, he's the brown bear, just a real good-looking bear, isn't he, John?
Very healthy looking.
That's right.
And Mark, it was funny because Michelle Tigges, I think I'm mispronouncing Michelle Tigges from the downtown office said, John, do you think the crowd would get a kick out of having our bear? Mark Laufer wondered about that. Mark, you wondered right.
Well, they seem to be enjoying themselves with him, and he, like I said, he spent a lot of time out here in the crowd. It's a great night to have the bear around.
And you're right, because the bear likes cooler weather.
Absolutely. Yeah, we wouldn't want it 85 degrees out there. Bears don't like any part of that.
No, they don't. A curve, and it's 0-2 to Darrell Jones. Right-handed batter. Fastball is upstairs. We have two guests with us this evening throughout this fourth inning. Mark Laufer from Bank of the West is with us, and then we'll welcome Lena Gilbert from the great community of Springville. And I'll tell you what, the Kernels got off to a great start with a 7-run first. Lead it here in the fourth, 7-0. Swing and a miss. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball from Stephen Merrick that fans Darrell Jones, and the cool weather seems to fit the 22-year-old Colonel right-hander just fine as he strikes out his sixth Wizard batter of the game. Here's Nick Hundley. Well, Mark Laufer, what is your role at Bank of the West?
I'm the manager of the downtown office.
You are?
I am, yep.
Well, that's great. So you work in concert with Dale Kretschmer.
I sure do.
Dale's a great friend, a fellow Rotarian. His wife is a teacher at Indian Creek Elementary, and I'll tell you what, Dale has been super to work with the last several years. He really is a community-minded bank president.
He is, and you know, Bank of the West has always supported the local communities, and Dale does a great job with that.
I know you guys get a lot of requests. You're involved in so many things. The first thing I did is strike two is in at the knees to Nick Hundley. 2 away, nobody on, here in the Wizard fourth, 7-0 Kernels. The 0-2 from Stephen Merrick is a high drive into deep left. Stantrell Smith back at the wall, on the warning track, leaps, and it went off the home run hot tub sign or the green wall. I think that should be a home run. It is, as Stantrell made a great effort for it, Mark. Leapt up, and it hit the orange portion of the here in the fourth, and that gives the Wizards their first run of the game. 7-1 Kernels, strike one in to Abraham Aguilar, the number 8 hitter, the shortstop, now playing second base, and Aguilar swings late and misses, strike two. We're talking with Mark Laufer of Bank of the West. We'll keep him right here with us between innings. We have that latitude with our radio advertisers to visit with guests through the middle innings. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. That a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Stephen Merrick surrenders a home run, the second of the year, to Nick Hundley with 2 out here in the fourth, but then fans his 8th batter of the young evening. 1 run for the Wizards in the top of the fourth on 1 hit, a home run. There were no Colonel errors. Fort Wayne leaves the bases empty. And as I said, we're going to keep it right here with Mark Laufer. He's the downtown branch manager at Bank of the West. And Mark, one of the first things I did when I heard that Bank of the West was coming to this marketplace is I went to their website. And they do a fabulous job. There's a whole section there about Bank of the West's belief in establishing themselves in the community to let the community know that, A, they're here for the long haul, and B, that the decisions are made locally.
That's the big thing with Bank of the West that we don't see a lot, is that our regional office is housed right here in Cedar Rapids. Downtown there, Dale Kretschmar actually directs the region, and so the decisions are made right here.
And that makes it easy for a commercial establishment or a future homeowner or somebody that might want to talk about a college tuition loan or a vacation or a new car. You're pretty much full service, aren't you?
Absolutely. Commercial and business banking, retail banking, mortgage, capital markets, for those real big investors. We can handle just anything that they want to bring into us.
And, Mark, the website is a valuable tool. Do you find more and more people finding out about you through your website?
Our web usage is very high, yes.
That's what I thought.
Our E-Time Banker program, which allows you to do your banking online, has a lot of customers out there on it.
Boy, I never thought of that. So a lot of people now can check their account balances or bill pay or make deposits?
Absolutely. You can make your loan payments online. You can make any type of transfer online. Anything you want to do can be done pretty much online, and if it can't, we're a simple phone call away.
Well, that's really convenient and user-friendly. Mark Laufer is with us. Bank of the West is sponsoring a first of 2 fireworks shows with us on this cool Saturday evening. Leading off for the Kernels in the bottom of the 4th is Dallas Morris. Mark Laufer, I would think at least 50 of your employees and their families must have come out on this unusually cool Saturday evening, and they seem, you said so far, to be having fun.
We're having an absolutely great time. We do every time we're here, John. This is what a great ballpark to come out and see a game at.
Well, thank you. It really has been a real pride and community asset since it was built 5 years ago. Dallas Morris takes the ball outside. It's 1-1 as he leads off the 4th. Here's a pitch hit a mile high. I'm not exaggerating too much. If it ever comes down, it might be caught. It does come back down into the glove of Jesus Lopez. Dallas Morris, who reached twice on errors his first 2 times up, has hit a towering pop-up in front of second, and it was gloved by Jesus Lopez, 1 away. Here in the Kernel 4th inning, 7-1 Kernels. Mark Laufer, I couldn't help but notice that our on-field hostess, Carla Davis, had your young son say something to the crowd. What was that?
My son Bryce is 3, and I was nervous when they gave him the microphone, to be honest.
Oh.
Not knowing what he would say, but he took it and just like a true baseball fan said, play ball.
Well, that's great. I wondered because the crowd really cheered when Bryce uttered those most magical words. Well, it's great that Bryce is here. Mark, is he your only child?
He is.
Okay.
He is. But a lot of as you mentioned, many of our employees have brought their families out tonight.
Here's a high drive into deep left, going back Will Venable, and in front of the track, he hauls in Heinley Statia's well-hit ball. 2 gone here in the Kernel 4th inning, and 7-1 Kernels. That's what I was hoping, Mark, is that this would be a family event for your employees, and I'll tell you what, going up to see Michelle Tigas when I do to plan this event, and it just is, there's a very warm feeling when you walk into the Bank of the West location there on 1st Avenue. You feel like that you belong.
We're very family-oriented. That's part of our culture.
That's right, and when you're talking about banking, you said it, you want to be able to serve a number of different populaces, and the family is at the core of our demographic, too, as well, Mark, here at the ballpark.
Absolutely.
Hey, there's Bo the Bear making the rounds, Mark. He's
Absolutely.
in the 3rd row, and, boy, he's like a magnet. We've got to get a camera down there.
Bo's going to be hugged out by the night's over.
He sure is, and I hope he can come back for your 2nd fireworks appearance. Bo is being accompanied by Luvita Hill, the Kernel broadcast assistant. 1-2 to Mark Trumbo. There's a late swing and a miss, and Mark is down on strikes. Down in order go the Kernels at the hands of Grant Varnell here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, Mark Laufer, I'll tell you what, with that pink slip of yours, pink pass of yours, Mark, you can come back later this evening if you'd like to say hello or bring Bryce up or say another word before the fireworks start, whatever you'd like. Bank of the West has a beautiful, beautiful ad in our program listing all your locations, and the program speaks for itself, Mark Laufer. Bank of the West proudly presents fireworks with the Cedar Rapids Kernels tonight and on July 15th. Mark, you keep this as a souvenir.
Thank you.
And thank you so much
Absolutely.
for everything, all
Absolutely.
the planning, all the hard work. And please do, if you'd like, bring Bryce up a little later if you'd like to warm up or say hello.
We sure will do that. We look forward to working with the Kernels in the future.
Oh, Bryce, it is excuse me, Mark, thinking of your son, it is a real pleasure. And, again, welcome back anytime the rest of the evening with that pink pass that you have.
Thanks, John.
Mark Loffer, thank you, Bank of the West. We'll be back and visit with our second guest from Springville, Lena Gilbert. After 4 full innings, the Kernels lead Fort Wayne 7-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Reading stimulates a child's imagination, increases their mastery of subject matter, improves their spelling and vocabulary, and opens up new worlds of discovery. That's why Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels are teaming up to encourage elementary students throughout the community to read. Kernels players will visit 38 elementary schools this spring to talk with students about the benefits of reading. Girls and boys will then be rewarded with nifty prizes for achieving reading milestones. Toyota Financial Services, the Gazette, and the Kernels, proud to stand behind our community's youth through reading.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a chicken mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more. You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Welcome back as leading off in the 5th inning for Fort Wayne and lofting one to straightaway center is Jesus Lopez. One out here in the top of the 5th inning, and here on Bank of the West Fireworks Night and Springville Night, we now welcome in Lena Gilbert from the great community of Springville, Iowa. Lena, it's great to have you with us. Is it a little warmer in here?
Much warmer. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be in here this evening.
Well, thank you, Lena. I think your community should be commended because orange and black colors are all over this ballpark. I hope you got to hear the group from Springville sing the national anthem.
Yes, I did, and it was a lovely rendition.
It was really, gave me goosebumps. As the leadoff batter, Javis Diaz takes strike one. Javis leans over the dish from the waist and chokes up on the stick and takes strike two from Stephen Merrick. The Colonel right-hander has allowed 1 run on 4 hits through 4 1/3 innings. 7-1 Kernels here on Springville Night. Swing and a miss. The runner, though, tries for first. The throw to first off the glove of Mark Trumbo as Brett Martinez threw over the head of the base runner, and Mark Trumbo couldn't catch it. It'll be a throwing error. No, it'll be a drop ball. So credit Javis, or charge Javis Diaz with the strikeout. Merrick has 9 strikeouts. The throw to first was dropped by Mark Trumbo. He was screened, in all fairness. He couldn't see the ball coming from the right of the dirt batting circle. 1 on, 1 out for Seth Johnston here in the top of the 5th inning. A check swing roller to the right side. Well, Lena Gilbert, you represent a great community. It's, I believe, only about a, 17-minute drive up Highway 151?
That's correct. From the edge of Marion, really it's about a 6 or 7 minute drive.
Well, now, Brett Martinez is down, Lena. I'm sorry to have to, it looks like he got hit right between the legs or on the right leg on that check swing, and we can ill afford to lose Brett Martinez at this point of the season. Eric Munson is out looking at Brett, and he's really hurting as a tip foul hit Brett in the right leg. Martinez being tended to by the Colonel trainer, and we'll see if the Colonels have to bring in a new catcher here. Brett's trying to bear weight on that right leg, and man, those catchers are tough. Martinez will get a big hand from this crowd, including how many, Lena, from Springville? I bet a couple of hundred.
Oh, I think we filled up our section.
We've
got good representation tonight.
You sure do. Lena, what do you do in Springville?
Well, I do own and operate a small hotel in Springville.
Oh, what's the name of it?
The name is The Inn Springville.
The Inn Springville.
On Broadway.
Okay.
In the center of the downtown of Springville.
Sounds historic.
It's a historic building. It has much historical significance, built in 1909 by the Odd Fellows Association.
And how long have you been how long have you been welcoming guests as the owner of the Inn Springville?
Oh, just about 3 years now.
It sounds like just from your voice you have a passion for it.
I do.
Is it like going to Galena and kind of immersing yourself in history of Springville?
Well, in a sense, I only have 2 guest rooms, and they're both very uniquely appointed.
Oh, really?
And very relaxing and very homey.
Well, it sounds like a place when my mom makes her annual visit up here from Alton, Illinois, Lena, that we should look into it. But I say that knowing that do people have to book months in advance because of the 2-room situation?
Well, Springville is still gaining some popularity, so months in advance to make a reservation isn't necessary.
Okay, but at least a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. How do people hear about it? On the web? Do you do advertising in tour magazines? Or
on the web at www.inspringville.com.
That's easy to remember. Here's a foul off to the right. It's 0-2 now to Seth Johnston. 1 on, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Fort Wayne batting, and the Kernels leading the Wizards 7-1. Lena Gilbert is with us from Springville. And, Lena, you have a very good friend with you, Phyllis Hope.
Phyllis Hope. She lives in a rural area north of Springville, and I live south. We were neighbors for several years, and tonight she and her husband bungled up. They've got their long underwear on, and we're enjoying hot cocoa and coffees.
Oh, that's appropriate for tonight. A pitch in the dirt, and Brett Martinez sees it trickle to his left, and advancing to second is Javis Diaz, runner at second, 1 out. Isn't that neat when you are a neighbor with somebody and then wind up being friends for oftentimes a lifetime?
It is a very special friendship that we have, so I'm glad she's here with me tonight in the booth.
I am too, and I'm glad that you and her husband did bundle up tonight. The 1-2. Stroked foul off the end of the bat. That one into the Papa John's Plaza bleacher section. The batter, Seth Johnston, looks at his black lacquer bat. He now taps it on the plate. That's the real test to see if you broke a bat or not. Seth seems to be satisfied that he did not break the lumber. He's wearing a pair of bright white batting gloves. Stands straight away from the right side, facing Colonel right-hander Stephen Merrick, who's leaning in and squinting to get his sign from Brett Martinez, the Colonel catcher. I know so little about Springville, Lena, and I say that because, like a lot of people in Cedar Rapids, when I'm driving up to Dubuque, there's a beautiful sign I remember each time I go by that I'm not sure if it has a slogan on it or not. Are you familiar with that sign I'm talking about?
Well, that would be, I believe, the sign at the intersection of Highway 151 and what is Springville Road or Highway X20, Springville, home of the Orioles.
Yes. Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Seth Johnston fans, and I believe that's 10 strikeouts for Stephen Merrick. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 strikeouts for the Colonel right-hander. Well, Lena, I want you to be able to share some fun facts, information, unique things about the culture and community there in Springville, and we'll let you do that as Mike Baxter readies himself for the first pitch from Merrick. Breaking pitch just missed high, ball 1. Help me out and our listeners about some of the reasons people love Springville.
Well, recently Springville formed a new nonprofit organization of which I'm part of, the Springville Economic Development Corporation.
Okay.
A nonprofit group of businesses and individuals dedicated to the economic improvement of Springville. Our mission is to promote Springville to attract and retain businesses and residents.
Well, that's a great mission for a community of Springville's size. I'm glad you have it down in that succinct of a mission statement. Strike 1 at the knees on a 2-0 pitch. And, Lena, I credit you for jumping aboard for this nonprofit organization. It sounds newly formed.
Correct. We're just about a year old. We've got 30 new members, a board of 11, an executive committee of 4, of which I am a member of, and the secretary. We have several subcommittees, and we've recently launched a farmers market.
Oh, really?
That is held every Tuesday from now until the end of August from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Cox Lake Picnic Pavilion behind City Hall.
Here's a drive to deep center, and with his back to the plate, Brad Kuhn makes a tough play look easy. Listen to the hand for Brad Kuhn as he trots in, having made a Willie Mays-like catch with his back to the infield. Mike Baxter launched one in a bid for his third hit of the night to deep, deep center. Kuhn will be congratulated in the Colonel dugout. He made a whale of a catch with his back to the infield, used his great speed to drift back, and then with his back to home plate, Kuhn hauled it in, and that Colonel dugout is congratulating Brad Kuhn for a sensational running catch in deep, deep center. That's the play of the game defensively for the Kernels, and who knows, Lena, Brad might have been hearing about the farmers market and thinking, you know what, I just want to head right on north out of the center field wall up to Springfield. That is a neat thing you've launched. Could you tell us again, it's every Tuesdays through when?
Through the end of August from 4 to 6 p.m.
And where is it?
At the Cox Lake Picnic Pavilion behind City Hall.
Well, now, Cox Lake, how big is Cox Lake?
Oh, golly, you could get a couple fishing poles in there pretty easily.
Well, neat. And so that's where the farmers market is. How many farmers have you had the first few go-arounds here in the spring?
We've got more than a dozen vendors that are participating in the farmers market, and with just about everything you can imagine that would be at a farmer's market.
Well, I was going to ask, is it fresh fruit? Is it fresh vegetables?
Fresh vegetables. There will be some fresh fruit as the season moves onward. Strawberries, there's plants, flowers, baked goods, fresh frozen pork goods.
Oh, boy. I'm sure you have corn as well.
There will be plenty of sweet corn.
Good. Well, Lena, that's great. And is this a result of the economic development cooperative corporation that you formed?
Yes, it is. The farmers market is being sponsored in part by the Springville Economic Development Corporation.
Boy, that is wonderful. Now, we'll ask in a moment, as ball one is inside to Brett Martinez. The Kernels haven't scored since their 7-run eruption back in the first inning. They bat here in the bottom of the 5th, leading 7-1. Lena Gilbert is with us from the great community of Springville. How can somebody, as Brett takes a strike, how can someone who wants to sell their goods at the farmers market, how much do they have to pay and who do they contact?
Well, they can contact myself through my phone number, or they can contact the Springville Economic Development Corporation. That number is 854-7016. They can also contact the city clerk's office at 854-6428 for information about becoming a vendor or to clarify the hours and the location of the market.
Brett Martinez pulls a pitch to third and a high throw from the third base area from Seth Johnston, but coming off the bag to tag Brett Martinez for the first out of the 5th is Darrell Jones. Brett Martinez bounces out to third. Flint Whipke singled, advanced to second on a wild pitch, scored in the Colonel 7-run first. Flint then grounded to third. And I'll tell you what, this right-hander Grant Varnell has pitched very well since his defense. There's a chopper to short, an easy play on the backhand side by Jesus Lopez on to first. 2 gone here in the 5th inning for the Kernels, who lead it 7-1. Since the Kernels' 7-run first inning, the Kernels have had only one base runner. It was Tyler Johnson, the number 9 hitter, singling to right back in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. Since then, this right-hander Grant Varnell has retired 6 straight Kernels. Stantrell Smith's at the plate, and a strike is called. A side-wheeling right-hander, Grant Varnell, actually his release point is 3/4 armed. The 0-1. Look out, it goes behind Stantrell Smith. That pitch just slipped out of the right-hander's hand. Ball 1. Lena Gilbert, how big a community is Springville? Is it over 5,000 people?
Springville has residents of about 1,000 and 75 businesses.
Well, that's very healthy.
There is an abundance of services for your farm, your auto, or home.
Okay.
There's parks and recreational areas, many of which are very underutilized.
Well, that's important to know because now Stantrell evens the count as he fouls one of the way to the right. Lena, one of the things that is not true about Iowa, but that is a misconception is, quote, there's nothing to do here for families or young people. Nothing could be further from the truth. I want you to highlight, as Ball 3 is upstairs to Stantrell, some of the park and recreation venues that people might enjoy up in Springville.
Well, we have just south of our town the Grantwood Trail, which is a beautiful area that's set along an abandoned railroad line.
Oh.
It's absolutely beautiful, offers miles of beautiful walks nestled along an old railway. And in Springville proper, we have the Cox Lake Park area, Butler Park, Emmons Park, Graham Park. Near to Springville, we have the Matzel Bridge County Park.
Man.
It's a beautiful ball diamond and many track and field courses.
Well, I did not know that, and I love recreation, biking, running, swimming, walking, so you've sold me, Lena, on making that short drive up to Springville to experience some of that fun. The payoff pitch to Smith is a broken bat roller up the middle and a diving stop by shortstop Jesus Lopez, but he buries himself into the ground, the dirt behind second, and that's a infield single for Stantrell Smith. Stantrell Smith singles up the middle with 2 out here in the 5th inning. And the batter is Larry Infante. Larry doubled and scored in the Kernels' 7-run first, then lined to left his next time up. Infante, a left-handed batter, hitting for the 3rd time tonight against right-hander Grant Varnell. 7-1 Kernels, and we're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lena Gilbert is with us from the great community of Springville here on Bank of the West Fireworks Night. Lena, have you seen one of our fireworks shows yet?
Not this year, but in the past I have, and they're very impressive.
Here's a drive to deep left, and it's over the head of the left fielder off the wall. Will Venable, actually the center fielder, retrieves it. Racing home is Stantrell Smith, and it's a 2-out RBI triple by Larry Infante. And listen to the crowd. That's the first Colonel run since the 7-run first inning. Larry Infante belted one high and deep to left. Fading back was Will Venable just to the left of the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters home run hot tub, and Infante's drive went over the head of Will Venable. It then caromed to the center fielder, Javis Diaz, and before Diaz could get it back in, Larry Infante had himself a stand-up triple. Larry's second triple of the year, and it's now 8-1 Kernels. Strike one is called to Tyler Johnson. Wow, Larry Infante with a 2-out RBI triple into left. And now ball 1 is low to Tyler Johnson. Our time is dwindling with Lena Gilbert of Springville on their night at the ballpark. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 to Tyler. Lena's told us more about Springville in the last inning than I knew in 11 years living here in Cedar Rapids. And she may have a few more interesting facts to share. Here's a tap to the right of the mound, and the pitcher, Varnell, pops off the hill to his left, gloves it, and then throws out Tyler Johnson. It went 1-3. In the 5th inning, 1 run for the Kernels. On 2 hits, there were no Wizard errors, and the Kernels leave 1 of stranded 5. We'll have a final word from our guest from Springville, Lena Gilbert, when the Wizards come to bat in the top of the 6th inning after 5. Kernels thumping the Wizards 8-1. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
For your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make us a team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Kiel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Kiel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Kiel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykiel.com. Randy Kiel Honda, where they treat you right.
Here we go to the top of the sixth inning. We'll have our Springhouse trivia question for you in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Lena Gilbert is here on Bank of the West Fireworks Night. It's also Springville's community night here at the ballpark. And before Lena scoots away to enjoy some of the rest of the game with her friends and business associates and colleagues from Springville, Lena, I didn't realize that Springville also has a new library. How is that funded?
Well, largely through donations from the community, some major grants as well, but the community put out one heck of a fundraising effort and raised $1 million required to build that library, and it is absolutely beautiful.
In a community of just over 1,000.
Correct.
And this, you did not have to pass a bond referendum or slap a tax on anyone?
No.
Well, what does that say about Springville?
We're very dedicated to our community.
Wow. And where is the library located?
The library is on Broadway in the center of the downtown area.
Well, you've piqued my curiosity about that Broadway downtown area with your hotel, the Inn Springville. Here's a swing and a miss by big cleanup batter Kyle Blanks. He rolled the first pitch foul. Dallas Morris at third made a smart play and picked it up just in front of the bag at third, an inch foul, and it's 0-2 to Kyle Blanks leading off here in the sixth inning. The 0-2 pitch, fastball outside from Stephen Merrick. The Kernels have a right-hander up in their bullpen, and that right-hander is Chris Howell. 8-1 Kernels, top of the sixth inning. Blank stands motionless just like a statue at the plate with his bat resting on his shoulder, and he swings late and misses. Strike three. Kyle Blanks is gone for the second time in a row on strikes, and that is 10 strikeouts for Colonel right-hander Stephen Merrick. Stephen Merrick has fanned 10 Wizards tonight, and Stephen has his highest strikeout total of the year. He struck out 9 2 starts ago, Wednesday the 31st of May, but he has 10 strikeouts tonight. Now a pitch downstairs to left-handed hitting Will Venable. He struck out in the first and flew out to right, leading off the fourth. Does the Broadway downtown area in Springville, Lena, have, is it like Washington, Iowa, or Marion, Iowa? Is there a square?
There isn't a square. The downtown is about 2 blocks long.
Okay.
So you don't want to blink, otherwise you will miss most of downtown.
It sounds a little bit like the show I grew up watching, Mayberry RFD. That is the Andy Griffith Show.
Correct, one of my favorite shows. And Springville, in a sense, is a lot like the Mayberry backdrop.
Where people know each other and care for each other.
Yes, and one fact that I find remarkable about the city of Springville is that there is not a single stoplight in the entire town.
Well, that makes it very easy to get around or to bicycle or to walk.
It's very relaxed, very casual, very safe.
Well, I'm going to make sure that my mom gets up there for a visit. I may be there before she does. Swinging a foul off to the left by Will Venable. 1 out here in the top of the sixth. 10 strikeouts for Stephen Merrick as he strikes out the left-handed batter looking. Will Venable gone on strikes. That's the 11th strikeout for the Colonel right-hander. What a dominating performance by Stephen Merrick here tonight. He records his season-high 10th and 11th strikeouts here in the top of the sixth inning. 8-1 Kernels, and here's Darrell Jones. Darrell's a right-handed batter who has struck out twice. Even though it's brisk and cool here this evening, Lena, I sure hope that you and your friend Phyllis and her husband are able to stay for the fireworks.
Thank you very much.
I really think you'll enjoy those fireworks. The first pitch to Jones is low for a ball. Well, Lena, thank you for being so prideful and organized to tell us so much about your great town of Springville in such a little bit of time here this evening.
Thank you very much for inviting me to share the time with you on the radio this evening and this impressive view.
Yeah, you reminded me we have the best seats in the house up here.
Best seats in the house.
Well, Lena, you're a great spokesperson for the community of Springville, the Orioles, orange and black, and I can see why Springville is on the move in terms of progress, development, and a wonderful place to live and work. A swing and a miss by Darrell Jones, and he's even on the count 2-2. Lena Gilbert, our guest this evening, following Mark Laufer from Bank of the West. Stephen Merrick trying to strike out the side. I'm not sure if that's what he's trying to do, but he could strike out the side. Here in the top of the sixth inning, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Merrick has been totally dominant here tonight. That's his 12th strikeout in just 6 innings. Stephen Merrick blows away the Wizards, striking out their numbers 4, 5, and 6 batters. Here in the top of the sixth inning, Fort Wayne goes in order for the first time tonight. 12 strikeouts for 22-year-old Colonel right-hander Stephen Merrick. And here on Springville Bank of the West fireworks night, we go to the bottom of the sixth inning, and it's the Colonels 8 and Fort Wayne 1. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are two hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council world-class apprenticeship program. These experienced tradesmen will work with signed contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the highest skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes. Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. But you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
Brad Kuhn, the top of the order for the Kernels here in the bottom of the sixth inning. We have a new left fielder for Fort Wayne. It's Santiago Guerrero. Guerrero takes over in left for Will Venable here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And it's 8-1 Kernels. Here's a line drive off the pitcher's glove to the shortstop, and Jesus Lopez throws just in time to get Brad Kuhn. That putout went 1-6-3, and there's one out here in the Colonel's sixth inning. Boy, Brad Kuhn laced one over the pitcher Varnell's head. Grant slowed it down by flicking his glove into the air. It then ricocheted to the shortstop, and Jesus Lopez got Brad Kuhn one out here in the Colonel's sixth inning, 8-1 Kernels. Well, Levita Hill, you have been the personal bodyguard, emissary, ambassador for Bo the Bear from the Bank of the West, and from all accounts, Bo the Bear is the most popular figure here in the ballpark. Here's a high fly ball into shallow center, and going out is the shortstop, Jesus Lopez, on the right field side of second base in shallow right center, catches Dallas Morris's pop fly, 2 gone here in the Colonel's sixth inning, 8-1 Kernels, the batter Heinle Stacia. Levita Hill, what has been the crowd's reaction to Bo the Bear, the mascot of Bank of the West?
Not only do kids love Build-A-Bear, but adults love Build-A-Bear also. Everyone seems to be enjoying Bo's warm activity.
Well, he is some beautiful black gold bear. Now, have your Aunt Myra and your mom been able to see you yet tonight?
Yes, they have. We went over there, and Build-A-Bear went and met them.
Well, that's great, Luvita. It's been a very, very action-packed evening, fun. And I don't know about you, but I'm very impressed with the crowd tonight because it is not a particularly conducive night for being outside, is it?
I don't think warm weather can hold back Iowans.
No. Or cold weather, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, cold weather.
Well, or warm weather.
Warm, cold,
That's
Iowa,
right.
Midwest.
That's
Get
right.
it all.
Heinley Stacia on a 2-1 pitch from the right-hander, whips it, line drive at the feet of the first baseman, Darrell Jones. Darrell reaches down and has it for the final out here in the 6th inning. Well, if you've been a winner in our Springhouse Trivia question this spring or summer, and we've had 27 different winners, please don't call in this evening. You can certainly play along wherever you're tuned in, but please don't call in for our Springhouse Trivia question. Luvita Hill, a couple of special new offerings at the Springhouse.
If you go to the Springhouse Monday through Friday only, you can catch their lunch buffet, which is only $5.95. If you go there after 4:30 on Monday through Friday, you can catch the dinner buffet, which is only $1 more, $6.95. This buffet features a new large soup and salad bar, which is also $5.95.
And to make it clear on the new offerings, the breakfast and lunch buffet and the salad bar at the Springhouse, Luvita, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday only, John.
At the Springhouse. Luvita Hill, how about, as we'll let folks know that the Kernels lead after 6 innings here, 8-1. Chris Howell is answering a U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen, taking over for starter Stephen Merrick. Luvita Hill, we'll have you give the Springhouse Trivia question a chance for our listeners to earn a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. We'll have you give the question and then give out the phone number to call for the $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse.
All righty. Name the former White Sox who drove in 100-plus runs in 4 consecutive seasons, 1999 through 2002. The number to call is 896-7589. Once again, that's 896-7589.
Luvita Hill, please give the Springhouse question one more time. A hint, the answer is not Frank Thomas. Luvita Hill, take it away.
Name the former White Sox who drove in 100-plus runs in 4 consecutive seasons, 1999 through 2002.
Luvita is leaving her broadcast position to answer the phone, our Springhouse Trivia question. This call to the Kernel bullpen is brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Chris Howell answers the U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen. Chris Howell takes over here in the top of the 7th inning. It's 8-1 Kernels. What a dominating performance by Stephen Merrick tonight. I'll give you his final totals in a moment. Chris Howell is greeted with a deep drive into right center. Drifting back is Brad Kuhn, way back in right center. And Nick Hundley's drive is lassoed in by Brad Kuhn, who is some defensive center fielder. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 7th, 8-1 Kernels. Chris Howell was the loser in extra innings Wednesday afternoon in Davenport. He allowed 1 run on 1 hit, walked 2 in the extra inning, 8-7 loss to the Swing. Well, I can't believe how quickly Luvita Hill, Kernel broadcast assistant, is back with us. She may already have a winner to congratulate in our Springhouse Trivia question. Luvita Hill, do we have a winner?
Yes, we do. Our first caller actually gave the correct answer.
Well, let's repeat the question. Congratulate the winner and share the answer that he or she gave to earn that $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse.
The question: name the former White Sox who drove in 100-plus runs in 4 consecutive seasons, 1999 through 2002. I would like to congratulate Dan Doyle from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, with his correct answer of Maglio Ordonez.
Well, congratulations, Dan Doyle. Yes, Maglio Ordonez, a quiet superstar for the White Sox, signed a big free agent deal with the Tigers and is helping Jimmy Leland's ball club reach unsurpassed heights. Chris Howell's 1-2 pitch is outside to Abraham Aguilar. The number 8 hitter was 0 for 1 against the Colonel departed starter Stephen Merrick. Aguilar slaps a pitch over the outstretched glove of Mark Trumbo at first, down the right field line. A good play by Tyler Johnson to hold Abraham Aguilar to a long single here in the 7th inning. Luvita Hill, Colonel broadcast assistant, congratulating once again our Springhouse Trivia question winner.
Dan Doyle from Cedar Rapids, congratulations on your correct answer of Manglio Ordonez.
And
there.
It is. Mags, as White Sox fans called him, put together 4 great 100-plus RBI seasons with the White Sox. Here's a high fly ball way back and left. Stantrell Smith at the wall, and that one's into the whirling waters. Mix 96.5 FM Westdale Mall home run hot tub. You only see a few balls hit into the hot tub, and that one was by Jesus Lopez, his 3rd home run of the year, and the Colonel lead now is 8-3 in favor of the Colonels. Here in the top of the 7th inning, the home run by Jesus Lopez. Well, Luvita Hill, we're going to turn you loose to give us as big an update as you can a little bit later on the State Farm Major League scoreboard if our internet is working again. And Luvita, also, is Bo the Bear downstairs on his own, or do you need to find him?
I'm actually not sure about that one.
Okay, well, thank you for everything, Luvita. I think I'll have you pick up on the State Farm Major League scoreboard, and I'd like you to invite our first guest, Mark Laufer. But we'll have Mark come back in the bottom of the 7th inning and say a few more words. His 4th inning went very quickly, a swing and a miss by Javis Diaz, and he strikes out. 2 gone here in the 7th. Luvita Hill is heading back to take care of Dan Doyle, our Springhouse Trivia question winner, getting his $5 gift certificate ready. Mark Laufer, kind enough to bring up his wife and his son Bryce, and Mark will be joining us for another spell in the bottom of the 7th inning as the pitch to Seth Johnston from Chris Howell is fouled off to the right for strike 1. Again, the final line on Colonel starter Stephen Merrick. He went 6 innings, surrendered 1 run on 4 hits, struck out a season-high 12, and walked only 1. Stephen was absolutely dominant. A ground ball squibbed past first, and I don't think Trumbo beat the batter to the base. He did not. Mark Trumbo elected to not underhand to Chris Howell, and that is going to be a base hit for Seth Johnston. Seth Johnston rolled it past first, and Mark Trumbo, with Howell racing over to cover, elected to try to beat the batter to the base, and Mark was just a tad late, and that is a base hit for Seth Johnston. I think at Mark Trumbo underhanded to the pitcher Howell covering, the Colonels would have had Luvita Hill. I have now found out that Bo the Bear has gone into hibernation, so there's no need for you to link up with Bo. I think Bo is going to be back out for the fireworks, if that's the plan, Mark Laufer, and you have Bo lined up from Bank of the West, right? Okay, Mark, you stay here for a moment. Strike 1 is into Mike Baxter. So I just want to double check with Mark Laufer about Bo the Bear and his appearance before the fireworks. Well, Mark, I didn't remember, with all the action here tonight, your wonderful wife is here. What is her name again?
It's Kim.
Kim. Now, what does she do, Mark?
She works for the Iowa Valley School Districts in the juvenile court office.
Iowa Valley. Is that in Marengo?
It is in Marengo.
Okay. I don't have children, but that rang a bell, because we do a big community night with Marengo.
Absolutely. That's coming up on the 16th, actually.
I forgot it is. I didn't forget about it. I just didn't know when it was. Here's a tap foul up the first base line by the left-handed hitting Mike Baxter. Kim Laufer is here with Kim and Mark's son Bryce. Boy, you've got a well-behaved young man. I'll tell you that, Mark.
Oh, tonight.
He looks a little bit tired, but he also looks like he's still looking forward to baseball and the fireworks.
Well, you know, a game like this makes you tired. All these runs being scored. But what a great game.
Oh, it's been a great game. The Colonels lead it here in the 7th, 8-3. Bryce Laufer is 3.5 years old. He's got beautiful blonde hair, and he's sitting on his papa's lap. A fastball just missed from Chris Howell outside to the batter, Mike Baxter. The Kernels scored 7 in the first inning and lead this game 8-3 with a runner at first and 2 out. The 2-2. And that one's dribbled foul behind home plate. Well, Mark Loffer, what has Bryce enjoyed here at the ballpark tonight? I don't think ice cream would be to his liking because it's kind of chilly.
Not tonight, but we've tried just about everything else.
Good. Hot dog?
Absolutely. And just, being here. Like I said earlier,
right.
This is such a great venue.
Well, we appreciate that. Chris Howell's changeup is swung on and missed by Mike Baxter, and that ends the 7th. 14 Wizards have struck out tonight at the hands of starter Stephen Merrick. Howell, the relief pitcher, fans a pair. And it's 2 runs on 3 hits for Fort Wayne here in the top of the 7th. There were no Colonel errors. Fort Wayne leaves 1. They've stranded 5. Lindale Dental Care brings us the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game during the 7th inning stretch. Let's have a quick listen. After 6.5, Colonels lead the Wizards 8-3. You're tuned to Colonel Baseball here on the Colonel Radio Network.
In today's work world, knowledge is power. Training for modern job skills is opportunity and security. And you have one of the best choices for your future right here in Eastern Iowa. It's Kirkwood. Kirkwood Community College offers over 100 degree programs to give you new job opportunities or a smart start on your college path. Find out more today. Call Kirkwood Admissions, 398-5517. Kirkwood, start here, go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Papa John, and when I say better ingredients, better pizza, I'm not talking about a little better. I'm talking about a lot better. Let's talk about our pizza sauce. It's made from fresh, fine-ripened tomatoes, not from concentrate. But when it comes to ingredients, we select from the world's best. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. A lot better.
Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and ask for the Home Run Special, a large, thin, or original crust pizza with up to 3 toppings for $10.99. Just $10.99.
Great teams consist of diverse talent. Rockwell Collins understands this and is committed to developing diversity in our community. We recognize that our leadership in the aviation and communications electronics industry hinges on attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. And we're working with other Iowa companies to create an environment that nurtures diversity. Rockwell Collins. Different thinking makes us great. Great thinking makes us different.
A brisk, cool evening here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Glad to have you with us as we approach the top of the hour. You're enjoying Colonel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG Cedar Rapids. And the Wizards make a pitching change. Their starter, Grant Varnell, went 6 innings, surrendered 8 runs on 9 hits. Varnell struck out 1, and he walked 1, and he pitched very well. After the first inning, the Colonels sent 12 men to the plate in the first, scored 7 runs on 6 hits. I'm going to ask our official scorer, Al Gruwell, to pop back in here after the Colonels bat in the 7th. Al, I was unable to catch your final line on Grant Varnell as far as how many of the Colonel 8 runs were earned. So, Al Gruwell, Colonel official scorer, if you could slide on over after the Colonels bat against a new pitcher, Mark Roberts, for the Wizards. I'll make sure I know how many of the 8 Colonel runs were earned off the starter. Right-hander Mark Roberts pumps in a fastball at the knees. Strike 1 to Mark Trumbo. Getting back to our Springhouse Trivia question winner, Dan Doyle of Wedgwood Drive here in Cedar Rapids. Maglio Ordonez was the former White Sox who drove in 100-plus runs in 4 consecutive seasons for Chicago, 1999 through 2002. He didn't garner the headlines because of guys like Sammy Sosa. I always thought Frank Thomas never really got the publicity he deserved from the Chicago media. He drove in 100 or more runs 10 times for the White Sox. Trumbo on a 1-2 pitch, swings at a changeup and didn't get it. Mark doubled in the first Colonel run and scored in our 7-run first inning tonight. Mark Roberts, a right-hander, on in relief for Fort Wayne gets Mark Trumbo on a changeup. Mark Roberts pitching for the 14th time this year, no record, a 2.25 earned run average. 16 innings pitched. He's allowed 4 runs on 15 hits, and Brett Martinez slices the first pitch foul into the screen, strike 1. Bottom of the 7th inning, and the Kernels lead the Wizards 8-3. Swing and a miss by Brett, strike 2. A light breeze continues to blow in from right center field. We'll also be eager to share our attendance count with you later on. Here's a little weak grounder up the first baseline. It's gloved by Darrell Jones, and Jones steps on first for the second out of the 7th inning. 2 gone here in the Kernels' 7th inning. Mark Roberts, in 16 innings pitched, has allowed only 4 runs on 15 hits. He's fanned 22 batters in 16 innings, walked 7. Right-hander Mark Roberts holds his glove right up in front of his chin, and his first pitch is a changeup outside, ball 1 to Flint Whipkey. Flint's 1 for 3 tonight. Outfield plays Whipkey straight away. Right-handed hitter. And Flint backs away from a delivery inside, and that's ball 2. Flint Whipkey last night was 2 for 5 in the Kernel 8-6 win in Davenport. Flint scored twice, drove in a run in the Kernel victory that snapped a 6-game losing skid. Ball 3 now to Flint. And there's a strike called. It's 3 balls, 1 strike to Flint Whipkey. Bases empty, 2 away here in the Kernels' 7th inning, 8-3 Kernels. Ball 4 is downstairs. Flint Whipkey draws a 2-out walk from right-hander Mark Roberts.
Number 25.
Chris Howell, Kernel right-hander, took over for starter Stephen Merrick in the 7th inning. Chris surrendered a 1-out single to Abraham Aguilar and then a 2-run homer to Jesus Lopez. It went into the Mix 96.5 FM Westdale Mall Whirling Waters home run hot tub. Swing and a miss by Stantrell Smith. Stantrell had a productive evening last night in Davenport. Doubled and tripled. And a fastball inside to Stantrell Smith for a ball. Stantrell hit safely in all 4 games against the swing, and he has a hit tonight, so he has a 5-game hitting streak. Stantrell cues the 1-2 pitch foul off the end of the bat, outside of first toward the Kernel dugout, strike 2. 1-2 to the Kernel number 7 hitter, batting .228. No homers, 8 RBIs, Stantrell Smith. Roberts delivers, and a breaking pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. In the Kernel's 7th inning, no runs, no hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. There were no Fort Wayne errors, and the Kernels leave 1 aboard and have stranded 6. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and Kernels lead Fort Wayne 8-3. You're enjoying Kernel baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. Even though we all do our best to stay healthy, we can never anticipate when an illness or accident might strike. Couple that reality with rising medical costs, and the importance of a top-notch medical plan becomes clear. Pekin Insurance offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount. To explore the major medical insurance plan that best fits you, visit me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Town with 5 Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. 5 Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
Fort Wayne comes to bat in the top of the 8th inning. And it's 8-3 Kernels. Chris Howell will face Kyle Blanks, and then Guerrero, who came on to play left field in the 6th inning. Chris misses outside for ball one. Now a swing and a miss by big Kyle Blanks, 6'6", 270. A .306 batsman on the year. Tim DeJurgis is warming up down the right field line for the Kernels. Ball one is upstairs. Well, Bo the Bear from the Bank of the West has gone into hibernation. And Bo was the most popular figure by far here this evening. A little Texas League clunker falls into right in front of Tyler Johnson. Tyler picks it up with his bare hand. And Kyle Blanks is reached with the Texas League single here in the 8th inning. We want to welcome Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill's mother and her aunt. And Luvita, before you before you give your attention to the State Farm Major League Scoreboard, let me have you come back on and tell us a little bit about your mom and aunt, and then we'll get to the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. I know our listeners are eager to hear about that as well, Luvita, and I know you're getting your scores lined up. Luvita Hill, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You can understand a person's attitude, their work ethic, their diligence, their conscientiousness by, quite frankly, who they were raised by. And your mom and aunt, you are a reflection of them. You do a great job day in and day out for us. You have from day one. And your mom has a very unique position with the Internal Revenue Service. Go ahead, Luvita.
Yes, she does. She is a web specialist with the bank.
Well, we're not with the Internal Revenue Service, with the good guys, the Federal Reserve. My goodness. How could I get those two? One is practically the Gestapo, and the other is the reason our economy's doing so well. My apologies, Mrs. Bates. I didn't mean to mix up those two organizations. The Federal Reserve is what helps keep this country healthy, and nothing against the IRS, but they're the folks that, well, never mind. Guerrero batting for the first time, fans on a changeup. Luvita, your mom works in a very, very important field, and that is the Federal Reserve in Chicago.
Yes, she does.
And whenever you have to come visit her, or whenever you do visit her, how many layers of security do you have to go through?
I can't even begin to explain how many layers of security there are. I just know she has to push me through it.
Swing and a miss by Daryl Jones, and she's pretty sharp on the computer, isn't she?
Yeah. Oh, that's where I learned from.
Well, you learned from the best because you're the best I've ever seen on the computer. You helped me get this new laptop that we use for so many different purposes. Here's a high pop foul. Brett Martinez in front of the Colonel dugout! Makes a terrific sliding catch on his red shin guards. Daryl Jones lofted it high in the air toward the Colonel first base dugout. Trumbo hustled over. So, too, did the Colonel catcher, Brett Martinez, and Brett slid in and made the catch. And there were two away here in the Fort Wayne 8th inning. Well, Luvita, your Aunt Myra is also here, and what does she do in the Chicagoland area?
Actually, my Aunt Myra is one of the members of the family that lives in Atlanta.
Oh, yes. You love visiting Atlanta.
Yes, I do, except when it's really, really warm.
Well,
I don't like warm weather.
Bet your Aunt Myra doesn't appreciate this winter-like weather in June in Iowa.
Welcome to the Midwest.
That's right. we can assure you, Myra, that it's ordinarily not this cold in early June. A pitch load and Nick Hundley, and it's 1-1 now to Hundley. Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill has her mom. And Luvita, your mom's first name?
Melissa.
Melissa Bates. The 1-1 is driven in the air down the right field line. This will be a tough play. Mark Trumbo drifts into foul ground and makes a terrific running catch in the Colonel bullpen. Nick Hundley fouls out down the right field line, and Mark Trumbo made the catch to end the inning. In the top of the 8th for Fort Wayne, no runs, 1 hit, a leadoff single. There were no Colonel errors. The Wizards leave a runner aboard, and they have now left 6 on this evening. Well, Levita, did I give you enough time, or will you have enough time between the top of this 8th and the bottom of the 8th to get your scores ready on the State Farm Major League scoreboard?
I do have enough time.
All right, we'll look forward to the update when the Kernels bat in the home half of the 8th. After 7.5, Kernels on top of Fort Wayne, 8-3. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Get ready for summer and beat high gas prices with a pre-owned vehicle from Randy Keel Honda. Their inventory is jam-packed with fuel-efficient vehicles designed to save you money. Get an economical sedan for your daily commute, or indulge your sporty side with a high-performance coupe. Randy Keel Honda carries a large selection of Honda certified pre-owned vehicles, backed by a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty and 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Need to haul the entire family? For a limited time, you can get special financing on Honda certified pre-owned Odyssey. Whatever your driving needs, Randy Keel Honda has the vehicle for you. Visit Randy Keel Honda on Centerpoint Road Northeast or online at randykeel.com. Randy Keel Honda, where they treat you right.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, how can you differentiate one realtor from another? The distinction is clear when you consider the remarkable offer that Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty makes. Dick Ramsey's offer is unprecedented. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. That extraordinary pledge bears instant replay. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. For the best home buying or home selling experience in Cedar Rapids, turn to the home team, Skogman Realty's Dick Ramsey.
Bottom of the 8th inning on Bank of the West Fireworks Night, Springville Community Night here at the ballpark. And before we get to that State Farm Major League scoreboard update as promised, Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill, I think a very, very great tribute to this community, because it is not the most ideal June night we could have for baseball, yet a big crowd here.
You can tell that minor league baseball is a big part of the Cedar Rapids community just from the attendance here tonight. 2,828.
A high drive off the bat of Larry Infante, and drifting over into left center to glove it is Guerrero. The catch was made by the Fort Wayne left fielder Santiago Guerrero. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 8th inning. Luvita, once again, that attendance.
The attendance tonight, 2,828.
And I think your mom and aunt would think it's more like weather for a football game at Soldier Field.
That's right. Actually, as I gather my dream team kids, one of the parents said, "When's kickoff?"
Those kids from Springville must be pretty sharp, Luvita. I saw one real cute little girl in a pink jacket, and boy, you asked, I think either you or Sonia Massey, as ball one is low to Tyler Johnson. Tyler hits one into shallow center, but coming on is Javi Diaz, and Javi's there to grab it. 2 gone here in the Colonel 8th inning. One of you two asked, John, do you think all the members of the Cost Cutters Dream Team will come tonight because of the cold, dreary outlook?
I think that was me.
And they were all here, weren't they?
All 9 of them came.
Well, that shows you how dedicated the Springville community is. Brad Kuhn drove in a run in the Colonel's 7-run first inning. And Brad is 1 for 4 tonight. First pitch from Mark Roberts is in for a strike. Well, Luvita, let's see how far we can get on our State Farm Major League scoreboard.
We would like to thank State Farm insurance agents Elle Shuttler, Dale Thompson, Gary Schuba, and Brad Dunn for this State Farm Major League scoreboard. In the American League, at U.S. Cellular Field in 11 innings, the White Sox barely edged past the Indians 4-3.
A 1-1 pitch is upstairs. Ball 2 to Brad Kuhn.
Another game completed this afternoon at Yankee Stadium. The A's nipped past the Yankees 5-2.
The 2-1 to Brad is low for ball 3.
At Kauffman Stadium, the Royals bowed to the Devil Rays 9-5. And for the last game completed this afternoon in the American League at Rogers Center, the Tigers took it to the Blue Jays 5-3.
Kuhn lifts it in the air to left. This will be caught by Santiago Guerrero to end the inning. And the Kernels go 1-2-3 in the 8th inning. Well, we've got a big chunk of the State Farm Major League scoreboard relayed to you. Luvita will pick up right where she left off. Afternoon action in the National League will come your way, and then we'll bring you all the updates tonight on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Action under the lights on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. Right now, though, we head to the top of the 9th inning, and the Kernels lead the Wizards 8-3. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premium, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
Did you know that June is Perennial Gardening Month? Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center is your perennial plant expert with the best selection in town. Start your lasting perennial garden with Peck's great variety of new and all-time favorite perennials. From our selection of quality perennials, Peck's will help you select the right perennials for your garden or yard. Each week during the month of June, Peck's will feature a perennial plant available for a special price. Be sure to look for this week's featured perennial as you stroll through our many acres of plants and flowers. Stop by to visit the plant people at Peck's as you start your perennial garden or add to your existing garden. Peck's, celebrating 50 years of growing since 1956. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, Nursery and Landscaping, at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road, Northeast.
We go to the top of the 9th inning, a U.S. Cellular call to the Kernel bullpen, and right-hander Tim DeJurgis comes on. We left off with the finals from this afternoon in the American League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. In Luvita Hill, we had finals in the National League as well.
We also did, John, but we weren't finished. There was one evening game completed in the American League this evening. At Fenway Park, the Rangers beat the Red Sox 7-4. That concludes the American League. In the National League this afternoon, at RFK Stadium, the Phillies knocked off the Nationals 6-2. At Minute Maid Park, the Braves edged past the Astros 4-2. And at AT&T Park, the Pirates shut out the Giants 2-0. Completed later on this evening, or earlier this evening at Great American Ballpark, the Cubs knocked off the Reds 4-2.
Well, that ought to make you and your mom pretty happy, Luvita.
I think I'm happy.
Strike one from Tim DeJurgis to Abraham Aguilar. We'll get to the games in progress as we roll along here in the top of the 9th inning. Tim DeJurgis is ahead of Abraham Aguilar. No balls, 2 strikes. This call to the Kernel bullpen is sponsored by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes, only from U.S. Cellular. Good morning, good noon, good night to Abraham Aguilar. He's gone looking, 1 out here in the Fort Wayne 9th, and that is now 16 Wizard hitters that Kernel pitching has struck out on the evening. Chris Howell went 2 innings in relief of starter Stephen Merrick, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, fan 3, walk none. 8-3 in favor of the Kernels here in the top of the 9th inning. In Luvita Hill, what games are in progress?
In the American League at the Metrodome, the Orioles and Twins. The Orioles lead the Twins 8-5 in the top of the 9th. Yet to be played, our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, at Angel Stadium against the Mariners. And that doubleheader, the Rangers and Red Sox, that one will be postponed until later into the season. Games in the National League at Miller Stadium, the Cardinals lead the Brewers 3-2 in the top of the 8th. At Coors Field, the Rockies are ahead of the Dodgers 7-5 in the top of the 6th.
Here's a ground ball to first baseman Mark Trumbo, who waves off Tim DeJurgis and makes the unassisted putout of the number 9 hitter Jesus Lopez. This crowd comes to life as the Kernels are closing in on a series opening win here against Fort Wayne. And Luvita Hill keep going.
At Chase Field, the Mets lead the Diamondbacks 3-0 on the top of the first, and yet to begin at Petco Park, Marlins and Padres.
Well, that brings us completely up to date on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. I'll review, either Luvita and I will review them one more time as part of the Colonel Curtin call. The leadoff batter takes a strike. That's Javis Diaz. Now Diaz looks at a ball. We're in the top of the ninth. It's 8-3 Kernels. Ground ball off the glove of DeTurgis. Gloved by Infante. Larry throws the batter out. And the Kernels have won the opener against Fort Wayne 8-3. 8-3 Kernels. That put out goes DeTurgis to Larry Infante to the first baseman, Mark Trumbo. And the Kernels have won their second in a row and begin their 8-game homestand on a very, very positive note with an 8-3 win over the Fort Wayne Wizards. 8-3 Kernels. We'll be back in a moment. Totals, highlights, and more on the Colonel Curtin call. Let's remind you, though, before we take a break and head into the Colonel Curtin call, that Bank of the West stepping to the plate to sponsor our fireworks show. And Luvita Hill, I think most of the 2,828 stayed for the entire game. And now they'll be rewarded not only with the fun and memory of a Colonel win, but a fabulous fireworks show from Bank of the West. And I hope your Aunt Myra and your mom stay right here and watch the fireworks.
I think they will stay.
All right. We'll have the Colonel Curtin call after this. 8-3 Kernels. You're listening to Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool, but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a chicken mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
It's time for the Colonel's Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonel, John Rogers.
And the highly anticipated Bank of the West fireworks show has begun. Multicolored bombardier or colored fireworks are exploding above the right center field scoreboard. A crowd of 2,828 braved what could only be termed unseasonably cool conditions here this evening. 58 degrees was our game time temperature, and the Kernels won their second in a row, starting the 8-game homestand off on a very, very positive note with an 8-3 victory over the Fort Wayne Wizards. Welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Bank of the West fireworks show has begun. The Kernels put on their own fireworks show in the very first inning here this evening, essentially winning the game, sending 12 men to the plate and scoring 7 runs off starter Grant Varnell of Fort Wayne. Of the 8 Colonel runs scored total tonight, only 3 were earned. The Wizards had a case of fumbleitis and jitters in the bottom of the first inning. They committed 3 errors. The Colonel scored 7 runs on 6 hits and led 7-0 after 1 inning. Dallas Morris got it all started with one out as he grounded one to the shortstop, Abraham Aguilar. Aguilar mishandled it and fumbled it. Morris reached. Heinley Stacia then got the first of 4 straight Kernel hits, singling into left, sending Morris to second. Mark Trumbo then ripped a 3-foot-high line drive past third down the left field line. Dallas Morris scored all the way from first to make it 1-0 Kernels. Stacia advanced to third on Trumbo's double. Brett Martinez then wrapped a 2-run single through the middle to plate both Stacia and Trumbo. The Kernels led 3-0. Flint Wimpke's single into right field sent Martinez to third. And then Stantrell Smith reached on a error by the second baseman, Rainer Contreras. Contreras fumbled what should have been a sure double play ball. Or actually, no, it was Contreras who fielded Stantrell Smith's weak grounder and then threw wildly past first. Martinez scored, so did Flint Wimpke, and it was 5-0 Kernels. Larry Infante doubled to left field, sending Stantrell Smith to third. Tyler Johnson walked to load the bases. Then the Kernels got an RBI single from Brad Kuhn to make it 6-0. Dallas Morris then reached on an error by Rainer Contreras, and on that play, Tyler Johnson scored to make it Tyler Johnson did not score. Larry Infante scored to make it 7-0 Kernels. The story of this game, besides the big 7-run outburst in the bottom of the first, was Kernel starter Stephen Merrick. Merrick struggled a bit in the top of the first inning, surrendering 2 hits and also hitting a batter. But after the first inning, Stephen Merrick was untouchable. Stephen went 6 innings, allowed 1 run on 4 hits, struck out a season-high 12, and walked 1. The only run the Wizards scored against Stephen Merrick was Nick Hundley's 2-out homer onto the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 FM Whirling Waters home run hot tub. That came in the 4th inning. Continuing with our game recap, the Kernels' Stephen Merrick struck out 12 in 6 innings. Chris Howell surrendered. Well, check that. The Kernels made it 8-1 on a 2-out single by Stantrell Smith in the 5th, and then an RBI triple by Larry Infante in the 5th inning made it an 8-1 game. The Wizards scored a single run in the 5th inning, that home run off of Stephen Merrick, to make it 8-1, and then the Kernels scored a single run in the 5th inning, the 2-out single by Smith, the triple by Infante to make it 8-1, and Fort Wayne scored a pair on 3 hits against Chris Howell in the 7th inning, and the final was 8-3 Kernels. The Bank of the West fireworks continue to dazzle this big crowd of nearly 3,000 tonight. The final line score, the Kernels 8 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. We left 6. The Wizards 3 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors. They stranded half a dozen. Winning pitcher Stephen Merrick, 7-1. The loser was starter Grant Varnell. He's 2-6. The game only took 2 hours and 16 minutes, and 2,828 were here and are still here enjoying the Bank of the West fireworks. We'll be back in just a moment with our PRC play of the game, 8-3 Kernels. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Valentino? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes.
We are 6.5 minutes plus into the fabulous Bank of the West fireworks show that has this crowd oohing and eyeing following a Kernel 8-3 win, our second victory in a row, and the first of a 4-game series, an 8-game homestand to finish the season's first half. PRC is proud to support the communities where their employees live and work. PRC's Community Care Home Runs for the Hungry campaign will help reduce hunger in our community through a $25 donation to the Haycap Food Reservoir for every Kernel home run hit this season. The Kernels did not hit a home run tonight, but have 37 home runs this season. $925 has been donated to the Haycap Food Reservoir from PRC's Community Care. PRC's Community Care now brings us the PRC play of the game. Stephen Merrick had struck out a season-high 11 with Darrell Jones standing in with 2 out in the top of the 6th inning. The Kernels led the game 8-1. With Darrell Jones at the plate and Merrick on the mound, here's our PRC play of the game.
Strike out the side. I'm not sure if that's what he's trying to do, but he could strike out the side. Here in the top of the 6th inning, the 2-2. Swing and a miss, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Merrick has been totally dominant here tonight. That's his 12th strikeout in just 6 innings. Stephen Merrick blows away the Wizards, striking out their numbers 4, 5, and 6 batters. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Fort Wayne goes in order for the first time tonight. 12 strikeouts for 22-year-old Colonel right-hander Stephen Merrick.
And that was our PRC play of the game, actually highlighting the performance of Stephen Merrick, a season-high 12 strikeouts. Stephen got 7 runs in the bottom of the first inning from his mates, and Stephen was a very, very good steward of that early lead, and he wins the game. He's now 7-1 with a season-high 12 strikeouts in 6 innings. That PRC play of the game brought to you by PRC, where their benefit package is known as Life Essentials. They include a casual dress code, flexible schedule, medical, dental, vision, and pet insurance, a 401k retirement savings plan, all part of the Life Essentials benefit package at PRC. Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill, are you amazed at the length of this Bank of the West fireworks show? It's now over 9 minutes.
Yes, I am. This one lasted a lot longer than last week's.
And a multitude of colors. I can say, Luvita, I've never seen turquoise fireworks.
I'm not sure.
That turquoise green is illuminating the sky. So, too, are some gold, I don't know what you call them, twisty, fizzle, rocket life-like configurations. I think the crowd is like me, Luvita. It's a lot easier to just sit and watch than it is to describe the multitude of colors and configurations. And, boy, what a long and vibrant fireworks show, approaching now 10 minutes, brought to us by Bank of the West. And we'll be back in just a moment. Luvita has the latest on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. I think the grand finale has started, Luvita.
Interesting. Something to look forward to coming out in this cold weather.
It sure has. By the sound of it, I think the grand finale has started. Bank of the West fireworks. We'll be back on the Colonel Curtain Call. The Colonels win at 8-3, and Luvita will have a complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard in just a moment. This is Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Center Point in Westdale Mall, and listen, if you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet stream comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and by Whirling Waters. Your chance to splash it up.
We're going to open up our window so you can get a feel of the excitement here. Listen to the crowd. Wow, what an exhilarating display of fireworks brought to this big crowd of over 2,800 by Bank of the West. The smoke is not cleared yet from the fireworks show brought to us by Bank of the West. 8-3 Kernels tonight. Kernels win at 8-3 over Fort Wayne. And now with a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, here's Colonel Broadcast Assistant Luvita Hill.
We'd like to thank State Farm Insurance agents Al Shuttler, Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, and Brad Dunn for a look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard. This afternoon in the American League, at U.S. Cellular Field, the White Sox clipped the Indians in 11 innings, 4-3. At Yankee Stadium, the A's toppled the Yankees, 5-2. At Kauffman Stadium, the Royals bowed to the Devil Rays, 9-5. And at Rogers Center, the Tigers turned back the Blue Jays, 5-3. Completed earlier this evening, at the Metrodome, the Orioles upended the Twins, 9-7. And the Rangers beat the Red Sox at Fenway Park, 7-4. Currently taking place at Angel Stadium, Mariners and our parent club, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Bottom of the first, no runs have yet been scored. That doubleheader that was supposed to take place today at Fenway Park, Rangers and Red Sox, is postponed for later in the season. In the National League this afternoon, at RFK Stadium, the Phillies knocked off the Nationals 6-2. At Minute Maid Park, the Astros bowed to the Braves 4-2. And at AT&T Park, the Pirates shut out the Giants 2-0. Completed earlier this evening at Great American Ballpark, the Cubs tamed the Reds 4-2. At Miller Stadium, the Cardinals nipped past the Brewers 4-3. And still taking place at Coors Field, the Dodgers lead the Rockies 10-5. The Rockies lead the Dodgers 10-5 in the bottom of the sixth. Once again, at Coors Field, the Rockies lead the Dodgers 10-5 in the bottom of the sixth. At Chase Field, in the top of the third, the Mets are ahead of the Diamondbacks 3-0. And at Petco Park, in the top of the second, the Marlins lead the Padres 1-0. We'd like to thank State Farm Insurance agents Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, and Brad Dunn for a look at that State Farm Major League Scoreboard.
We sure do, Levita Hill, and I'll tell you what, I think your Aunt Myra from Atlanta and your mom from the southern part of Chicago, the south, not the south side, what do you call it, the south suburbs?
Yes.
I think they have a pretty good indication now that your education at the University of Iowa and your own fortitude, that was a terrific job delivering the State Farm Major League Scoreboard. Levita, it's wonderful to have your aunt and mom here. And I hope that if we're going to invite them to join us at Steak and Shake after the game, but if you have other plans, that's fine too. Steak and Shake's one of our great sponsors. Before we leave this festive atmosphere at the ballpark, a lot to look forward to tomorrow afternoon, Levita, with the gates opening at 1 o'clock.
Tomorrow, the famous Sky Dogs will be in action. And once again, that is tomorrow. The gates do open up at 1 o'clock. The game is at 2.
And folks can bring their dog to the ballpark. It's Bark at the Park. The Kernels sign autographs from 1:20 until 1:40 on a family fun Sunday featuring Sky Dogs USA. And Levita, how much is popcorn on Sundays?
Popcorn is only $1.
That's right. For tomorrow afternoon, it should be a little warmer. I hope we see the sun. Boy, we didn't see it at all today that I know of, Levita.
Well, the game's at 2, so hopefully that sun will be out.
That's what we're hoping for. Thank you, Levita. The Kernels whip Fort Wayne 8-3 in the 8-game homestand series opener. Stephen Merrick fans a season-high 12 batters in 6 innings. We'll have the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show for you tomorrow afternoon. Just as Levita said, the gates open at 1. We'll have the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show for you at 1:40 right here in the zone, KCRG 1600 AM. Stephen Merrick fans 12 in 6 innings. The Kernels blast out of the gates on Bank of the West fireworks night with 7 runs in the bottom of the first inning, and the Kernels trample the Wizards 8-3 here tonight. For Colonel Broadcast Assistant Levita Hill, Bo the Bear of Bank of the West, I'm John Rogers wishing you a very, very great rest of your Saturday evening. Once again, the final, the Kernels 8, the Wizards 3. This has been Colonel Baseball on the Colonel Radio Network.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming already in progress.